This is ESPN 1025 The Game. From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne.
NASCAR is back. Kyle Larson returns to Nashville Superspeedway a winner.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR.
ESPN
1025 and 1063.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
The leading receiver.
Awesome Game 7.
Checkered flag in the air.
The Game.
a Cromwell Media Station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DEC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. I'm not Darren McFarland, but I am Elijah Campbell, having some technical difficulties getting the fellas connected at the Ford Ice Center in Antioch. It's 615 Day, June 15th. Back in the hosting chair, Willie's ready. He is at the Field of Dreams, celebrating 615 Day with some youth baseball. Willie, how you going? I haven't gotten to talk to you yet about this this whole adventure. I know you guys talked about it in the first segment yesterday, but I have not got to hear it from you personally. How's Iowa treating you guys?
It is. It's been a very unique experience that is definitely something worth doing once. I don't know if this would be an annual thing, but especially if you love that movie. Like my wife Erin has been taking in the reports from the game. She wasn't able to come out here, but she's been taking in reports of the game and watching the movie while I send the videos. And it's just fun to match up because very little has changed at all from the late 80s when that movie came out and when you walk in there today. So it's been a fabulous setting. You get more used to it the second night. We've done now 2 games. We're scheduled for a third game today, although there's maybe a little rain in the forecast that could change some things, but hopefully we'll get it in tonight. And take one more shot at the Field of Dreams. But it's been really amazing. It's exactly what you hope it would be when you drive up there. You're really in the middle of nowhere. There's cornfields everywhere, and you just drive up on this park. It's fantastic.
Man, that sounds like a pretty neat experience. And if you're able to get the games tonight, we'll be able to watch Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Willie?
I think if all goes well, we'll be able to watch probably the second half of the hockey game. And you never know. These games, these two teams, it's probably one of the best Stanley Cup Final matchups in recent memory. I'm trying to remember 2 heavyweights that made it all the way in the same year. We have to go back a ways, I think, but you never know how long those games are going to last. But we're hoping to catch the back part of it.
Yeah. Adam Vidkin was on with us on Robbie and Rex Road in the 9 o'clock hour, and he said that it's, at least for him, the most heavily anticipated Stanley Cup Final, the most excited he's been for a Stanley Cup Final in years, with the exception of when he was covering the Capitals. We're living in D.C. and the Caps were playing the Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final. But like in a sport so designed for randomness, we never see, I feel like, in the NHL, 2 teams that are this good get to square off for the ultimate crown. So I'm personally excited. And I did the thing, Willie. I did the thing. I picked against the Lightning again today.
Do that at your own peril. But I would say that I don't know what the odds makers have it. It's got to be 50-50, close to it. Maybe Colorado a slight favorite, but I would couch it as this. You've got the best team of the era with the best goalie in the world.
Yes.
Against probably the deepest, most talented team in the league. in Colorado. So you've got a great champion that maybe isn't firing on all cylinders, but I think if they get Braden Point back, they gain a weapon that tips the scales, that balances things a little bit in the overall depth. And of course, Colorado's lost a couple of key guys. We don't know if Nazem Kadri is going to be effective at all in the series if he tries to play. They've already lost Sam Girard, but the goalie matchup is probably the biggest thing here. You would take Colorado's lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I think we're all thrilled to just see how the two teams match up, with no dog in the hunt here.
Also, fun fact, because I think we do have Darren and the boys ready.
I see D-Base.
There is one fun fact
Yeah.
that I do want to drop. A friend of mine texted me this. Andre Vasilevsky, his save percentage in elimination games, .991. Andre Vasilevsky's save percentage in elimination games is about as automatic as Germex is to killing germs. Like, these are very specific, similar stats.
So that's good?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
99.999 compared to
It sounds
99.1.
good.
Like, we're in the same ballpark.
That's if you can get the.
If I ever
basically
saw
a
that
germ
on a
killer.
well, if I ever saw that on a test of mine, I would think that's very good. But I never got a test back that said 99.1.
99.1.
No, I never saw that. So it sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But no, it will be the game tonight, it will be I'm sure, a well-anticipated game. As you guys spoke earlier, you're talking about the two heavyweights of the NHL this season. In Tampa, the two-time defending champions versus the Avalanche, who has just been a buzzsaw through the playoffs, losing only 2 games. And what is their goal per game? Is it like almost over 4 goals per game?
For a good while during the regular season, Colorado was averaging over.
I'm just saying for playoffs.
For the playoffs,
yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. Let's look that up. I mean, we know how explosive it is, and they can. But this is going to be the great thing to watch. Is Tampa has done such a good job in defending with their checking line, and that's maybe the misconception about Tampa, because once upon a time they were a team that just, when they were a little bit younger, would try to outgun you a little more like Colorado goes about it now. But they've learned that the way you win is to be able to not only score but also defend, and that balance has been so important. If you watch what they did to the Rangers, the first couple games, the Rangers were kind of rolling. As the series went along, it got tougher and tougher for the Rangers to get any kind of looks at all. And by the end of the series, they just flat out could not score 5-on-5. The only chance they had was to score on the power play. And they really, maybe they got one, here or there. But that was the formula for Tampa. They took Florida, a team that did average over 4 goals a game in the regular season, and held them to 3 total goals in the 4 games. So I think that's really where you start. It's Vasilevsky and the defensive ability of Tampa. Can they contain Colorado's offense?
Well, the last 5 games, here are the numbers. And it was the last game versus St. Louis, and then obviously the 4 versus Edmonton, which they swept. The only time they scored less than 3 goals was the last game versus St. Louis. They scored 8 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, 6 goals.
They're averaging 4.6.
They've just been
4.6 for the playoffs in 14 games.
Almost 5 goals. Good Lord.
So that's going to be something to watch.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. So can they do it against Tampa? That's the question.
Well, we'll see with Vasilevsky in net. We'll see if they can do it.
We will come back and we'll see if we can pull off this show today.
Oh, we can.
It's 615 Day. We're celebrating. We're trying to raise great money for the Boys and Girls Club of Tennessee. Lots of things going on, and we're here at Fordyce Center in Antioch. If you're outdoors today, stay hydrated, stay cool, get a cool wrap, because it's going to be hot, hot, hot this week. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about some things we learned. The Titans are back out on the practice field today. We'll discuss that and more here on the DDC. But first, Willie, out in the cornfields, you've got a word about Loan Pronto.
All right, let's tell you about Loan Pronto. They've got the formula for you. If you have been hamstrung a little bit here, and hey, look, a lot of us in one form of fashion or another are getting hamstrung by right now the inflation, the gas prices, all of these things. And that might be hurting you a little bit in terms of if you have some credit card debt or other kind of loans that have a high interest rate, they're costing more and more. So here is a solution that Loan Pronto wants to help you with. Your home's value is way up, and there's a ton of cash in it, and you can access that cash through Loan Pronto in the zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands of dollars in as little as 2 weeks, and you can pay off those credit card rates that may have an interest rate as high as 23%. And you've got other loans that have a similar type of interest rate that are piling up. Take out that money, pay off that down to zero. And people who do this usually not only get that credit card rate to zero, but you usually cut $800 to $900 off of your monthly budget. So Loan Pronto is the place that you can do this. They can unlock that equity quickly with a fast and easy process. You do it now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's the ultimate celebration of one of the greatest bands ever. The Nashville Symphony performs Winborn's The Music of Queen, featuring conductor Brent Havens and vocalist Justin Sargent. June 26th at Ascend Amphitheater. A night filled with the music of Queen, performed as you've never heard it before. Get tickets now at NashvilleSymphony.org. Visit WinbornMusic.com.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations: Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Many jobs, sports, recreational activities, getting older, or having arthritis in your knees increases your chances of having knee problems. Whether you're an active senior or a high school athlete with knee problems or injuries, the world-class doctors at Houston Clinic Orthopedics can treat your knee pain or injuries. Houston Clinic Orthopedics is conveniently located where you work and live. Visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Thunderous dunks, crunching body slams, blazing fastballs, heart-racing game winners. Women's work is never done. SiriusXM is recognizing the 50th anniversary of Title IX by shining a light on how far we've come and how much further we need to go to ensure women have an equal chance to be great. Hear women's games, news and analysis of women's sports and more. The 50th anniversary of Title IX. Download the SiriusXM app and listen now.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Why the decision to train on your own as opposed to doing the team stuff here during the voluntary portion?
Well, in 2020, whenever COVID hit, we had to train by ourselves, and I really enjoyed that. I got to go work out when I wanted to, whether it was twice a day or 3 times a day or twice a day and go to the field. And then last year I did the same thing. So I just felt like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and continue to do those things. I was communicating with the coaches, and they knew what was going on, and I talked to them every now and then, so everything was
good. Derrick Henry speaking yesterday. Minicamps mandatory. Back here on the DDC. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here at the Fordyce Center in Antioch. Willie Donick is out in the cornfields in Iowa. Field of Dreams. Max Hers manning things at our Hillside Medical Game studio. Chase McCabe, the suit, although he is not a suit today. If he wore a suit today, whoo, he'd be in big trouble outside. Whew.
Yeah, no suit. No suit for the suit today.
Sweaty suit.
There is a, I will say this.
Suit.
I brought a swimsuit because supposedly I'm getting in the dunk tank at some point.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's what I'm told.
Do the employees know this?
Yeah, they do. They do. But, yeah, what I have been told is I'm getting in the dunk tank at some point.
Okay, this is what I've been trying to debate.
It's good to see you guys, by the way.
Trying to figure this out. Hey, nice to see you too, Chase. How you doing over there? Suit. I like the sunglasses too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, for a man, is it a swimsuit or just swim trunks?
That's a good point. Swim trunks.
I call them trunks.
I just call them swim trunks.
I
don't wear a swimsuit.
I said suit
Actually,
because you said the suit, so I was trying to kind of tie it all together.
Okay.
You know what, though? I probably do loosely say swimsuit. And you're right. It's not.
Yeah, it's just swim trunks.
It's trunks.
It's not a.
But
you don't have a top and a bottom.
Yeah.
We laughed. What was it? A week ago when we said somebody that gets into the pool with his shirt on.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's just trunks. I don't go to the store and buy a matching top and bottom, or one piece.
Speedos?
I just buy some trunks, man.
Yeah.
Nah, you won't
No
catch me in no
Speedo.
Speedos, man. No Speedos.
Now, knowing Jared.
I probably could wear Speedos, but nah, I ain't going that. I ain't going
knowing
that route.
Jared, because he's going to be in the dunk tank later, like he'll probably show up in that just to scar the world. So
there won't be anybody around to dunk him. So if he does,
that's a
bad
that's a
idea
visual for you,
raising money.
Nashville.
Talking about clearing an area out. Why is everybody running really fast by us?
Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
Jace, what are we doing here?
It's
615
615
There's a lot
day.
going on.
It's 615 day. And I'm glad that you guys didn't make the mistake I did. And one of our meetings about 615 day when I said, okay, what are the dates again? That actually happened. But, yeah, June 15th, 615
That's when they know
day.
you're going through the motions at the meeting.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those meetings about a meeting, and I lost track. But got a lot of cool things set up out here. TSU's here. The Sounds are here. Nashville SC is here. The Nashville Super Speedway is here. Our sister station, 102.9 The Buzz, is all set up out here. They got screens that are running different videos of the Preds and all of that. But the thing that we're here for is to help raise money for the Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee, like we did last year. The first time we put an event like this on out at Fordyce and Bellevue. Of course, we're at Antioch today. But it's bigger and better than it was before. There's games and there's food and fun for the whole family. So bring everybody out here and help a good cause.
There is a lot going on. There was a lot going on last year in Bellevue, but this year there's a lot going on here at the Antioch location.
It's bigger and better. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Super Speedway brought the pace car. So the Mustang pace car is sitting out here.
Can we do laps? There is a track here, a walking track.
I know the driver, so I can see if I can work that out. But
there's a lot of space.
I would say probably
actually in the this mall parking lot has got a lot of space.
Yeah, and it's a Cobra Mustang, so it's got some giddy up to it. So it'd be a lot of fun.
It's got giddy up.
It's got some funk in the trunk or in the hood.
Yeah, Derek, you're not allowed to drive it. I know your driving style. You're not allowed.
Hey, I'm the perfect person to drive the car. If that's the case.
You could be going solo.
From Chattanooga to Birmingham, you probably could do that in about 45 minutes.
35 minutes.
Hey, I'm like a jet, man. Put me in the cockpit. Let's go.
Braves have a day game. He can be there. All right, well, cool. We'll check in, Chase.
Yeah, you
keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Put
you
on
too.
your Speedo.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Those Speedos.
What time is your dunking contest?
I don't know.
You know?
Supposedly it was around 11, but I'm not sure if there's water in it yet. So,
Man, can I participate in it?
Yeah.
To try to throw something to dunk you? Or I just
sure.
push the button?
You can make a donation and then
I will
make it happen.
Donation, dunk them.
I like it. We need the schedule on the dunking tank. That's what we need.
Because we need to be out there. We need to be front.
Well, Jared's going to be at 12:30. I do know that. So.
Oh, definitely.
There will be a line out to Bell Road for that, I'm sure. Most of them probably work for the professional
Be a
sports
line
teams.
back to the studio.
Like Mike Vrabel may come out here and take some shots at him. Who knows?
Oh, man.
So you've been in this situation, Titans minicamp. So what is the significance? The mandatory camp. What is the significance of this week?
One, just to get everybody back in the building.
So it's literally just about getting everybody back together.
Yeah, getting everybody back in the building, making sure everybody's healthy. And if there are some guys that have, tweaks or anything, get that stuff worked out and start to, build on, the playbook. And, for the veteran guys, this is the time to just come in and continue to work on your craft, work on your conditioning because, the playbook front and back. You go out there, you're not even thinking. When they call a play, you go out there and you run it. For the younger guys, it's, learning the playbook, learning the pace of the NFL. Even though the pace will be slightly slower than what it will be during camp in late July, but getting them used to the pace of what a practice looks like, how plays are called, in and out of the huddle. Then seeing how the veteran guys work as well. Because these young guys, they're not going to get a lot of reps. Not all of them. They're not going to get a lot of reps. So they sit back and they watch the older guys and how they practice, how they prepare, how they are in the meeting rooms. And then it's exciting, too. At least I felt that way. It's exciting to get everybody back in the building, a fresh start, and get going. Being back out on the field. Exactly. So, you take this is an opportunity where you come in as a veteran. You get yourself established again. You see where your conditioning's at, and just kind of help the younger guys along. Because it's short. It's not like it's going to be this long thing. It's a short process, and then you're going to get another break until, you go in for July's camp, late July. So, again, it's everybody's here. I know Vrabel loves that. He don't have to sit back and answer questions why certain guys aren't here. But
Jeffrey Simmons is there, but he's participating. I don't know what to make into. He's in meetings.
I can only assume
there's communication, but he's not out on the field today.
I can only assume,
and it's not injury related.
Exactly. I can only assume or, take a guess that, because of the new NFL, where you can't just not come. On the NFL, if you had a contract dispute, you just didn't come.
Right.
Now you have to be in the building. And I've seen this before with the new collective bargaining where guys come in the building, but they do not do anything on the field. They don't. They work out. They go to meetings. But when it's time to do things on the field, they're not doing it because they want to protect themselves from injury. And then the coach can't say, well, the guy wasn't here. Well, I was here. I just didn't participate. You didn't say I had to participate. You just said I got to be here, So hopefully if it is a contract dispute between Jeff and the Titans, that they hopefully they work it out.
Do you think that's what's going on?
Man, and nowadays with these cats, man, that's the only thing you can pull out of it. Is that he wants a new contract. That's the only. What else can you? He's not injured. At least he didn't say it. There was no, hey, Jeffrey's going to be working through an injury coming into camp. There was none of that. He ended the season fairly healthy. Hell, he had, three sacks in one game, so he was healthy as you can be. So I don't think it has anything to do with his health. And if
they said that.
Case,
they said that today.
Yeah, if that's not the case, then what are we to think? It's contract related.
It's
again.
We've talked about this over and over and over again. Look, I get it. They're not going to change their ways, but they keep going down this hole of secret. We've got a secret, and we don't want to tell you anything, and that's just going to have everybody constantly speculating and talking about it, talking about whatever is or is not going on. And I guess they're cool with that because they continue to do that. So, I mean, if that is what's going on, I don't know how you present that. Maybe that's why you're not saying anything, but what else could it possibly be at this point?
I believe it is contract related.
Because isn't that's the only reason a player
that's the only reason he's not on the
wouldn't
field.
be there.
Yeah. Because
if they're saying it's
because if it was family related, then he wouldn't be in camp.
When they right.
You know? And if it was injury related, they would have said, "Hey, listen, Jeffrey is dealing with this." They probably wouldn't go in depth with it, but they would say he's dealing with a minor injury. We want to hold him back. It's minicamp. But I hope he doesn't go the route. I hope he saw what happened to his fellow teammate, when he decided to do all these quirky things because he wanted a contract. I don't think Jeffrey will go that route. I think he will do exactly what he can do without drawing a lot of attention to, necessarily himself, meaning social media stuff, doing stuff that just brings attention to himself. I think he will handle this in a way, and the Titans need to reward him. Hell, he's a hell of a player, and he's produced.
Yeah, but then he's asking them to affect their salary cap structure now, in advance, whenever he's got, 2 more years? This season and next?
You're absolutely right, but listen, it's sort of like real estate. Either you buy a house now and the prices are high, or you buy a house next year and the prices are even higher. So which one are you going to do? Well, so it's like, what do? I understand what you're saying, Darren. Like, he still has 2 years. Well, in 2 years, this cat might explode and you will not be able to afford him. So either you pay him now or you pay him later.
We'll come back and continue the discussion on the other side. The players will talk at 11:45. Vrabel's talking at 12:15. We will carry that live. I know, Willie, before you talk about QC Kinetics, kind of asking the listeners in celebration of what we're doing today, 615 Day, let's get a little input from the listeners on our text line. And what's the question?
I was thinking about this. We've had some fun in recent shows just with a fun question of the day that we can get people to text in their answers. They can call in if they want to tell a story throughout the show.
Tweet at us, whatever.
Yeah, tweet at us. We'll get the word to us, and we'll put it out there on the air. But 615 is not the exact halfway point of 2022, but for Nashville purposes, let's just make it that. And I was just thinking, what
Close
is
enough.
the best local sports moment of 2022 so far? It's probably not as obvious as it has been in some past years. There's the pleasure and pain, right, of the Titans season and the Predators season, probably the UT baseball season, right? So what is your favorite? And everybody's to each their own, right? Everybody could have a different answer. You could have something that's personal to you. It could be something on the big stage. But what's the best sports moment of 2022 so far in our listening area? Sound good? 737-1025.
That's a good question, yeah.
615-737-1025. To this point in 2022.
What is the best sports moment so far in 2022? Let's get your input on that. It's a good question. Tell everybody about QC Kinetics.
Okay, QC Kinetics. We're in the most active season of the year right now. I know it's hot outside, but I know those of you that are active, you want to keep doing your thing. But the biggest thing that holds you back is not the heat. If you're a weekend warrior like myself, or just somebody who likes to stay out there and do stuff, what can start to catch up with you as you get older is that joint pain, hip, knees, back, shoulder, whatever it might be. It takes the fun out of doing what you love to do, whether that be skating at the Ford Ice Center or playing the beer hockey games that you love to play, anything that might hold you back with the shoulder pain or the hip pain or any kind of joint pain, QC Kinetics is helping people get that fun back with advanced regenerative treatments, local medical professionals. And they do so with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. So if you haven't looked into this yet, take a look at it, because right now they have over 100 clinics nationwide, and they've got one in our listening area now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options. And the patient satisfaction reports are excellent. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics and learn about regenerative medicine. Get a totally free in-office consultation by calling 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robbie Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any. We buy any car. Any make, any model, any age, any price from $50 to $100,000. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any. We buy any car. Sell your car the easy way. Go online and sell it today. We buy any car. Any. Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Summer heat is here. How is your air conditioner holding up? Costs are rising everywhere. Grocery bills, gas bills, utility bills, you name it, up. Is your AC old, inefficient, costing more than it should? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months. No interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
Time is running out on the hottest finance offer of the year at Genesis Diamonds. Now through June 18th, you can get 5 years zero-interest financing on practically anything and everything. A $10,000 handcrafted Tacori ring comes to just $167 a month. Surprise them with something memorable. Put nothing down and pay absolutely nothing in interest for 5 whole years. Wedding bands for just $40 a month. Stud earrings just $30 a month. Don't miss this amazing offer. But hurry, it ends June 18th at 5 p.m. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Saturday.
Into the basket. It's a home run for Abreu. See you later. Over the Astros bullpen for Kyle Tucker.
Tune in for an American League matchup between the White Sox and Astros. Coverage begins at 2:30
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Jordan Rogers, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC on this Wednesday morning. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're here live at the Fordyce Center in Antioch. We're celebrating 615 Day. We're trying to raise some money for the Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee. You could come out here today. Bring the family out. Games, dunk tank, giveaways, food, and some ice skating opportunities. By the way, you can also There's some silent auction items that you can bet on. They're fantastic. At thegamenashville.com/615 day. So keep that in mind. Come out here this afternoon. We'll be doing our show out here. Afternoon show will be out here. It's a fantastic day here in Middle Tennessee. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here. Willie Donick out in the cornfields in Dyersville, Iowa. Ladarius, our on-site engineer. And, of course, Max Hers manning things at the Hillside Medical Game Studio. Derrick Henry was out there, and everybody was like, oh, the Keen is here. The Keen's here. He's here. He's back. He's back. With a new hair, the hair discussion was what got a lot of people talking. And the fact that he said, and help me with this, Willie and Max, he said, I think, how did he phrase it? Sound like I'm open to changing it, or I'm open to something new or different.
No, he said a promotion. The word he used was promotion.
No, the hair. I'm talking about the hair. That was something else.
Oh,
the hair.
I thought
the hair's a promotion.
The contract thing. You're going hair and not his contract. Okay.
Are you going to change your hair? I am open for a hair promotion.
See, this is the thing for me. I don't have
get
any
hair promotions.
Willie, have you had a hair promotion?
I could really use a promotion with my hair, but I don't have that option. It's just not there. I guess there are some products
you have an
out
option,
there that I
but
could
do
try.
you want to go through it?
I'm thinking of George Costanza.
Yeah, there are ways.
He showed up with the toupee.
Yeah.
Look, there's ways for you to get a hair promotion. That's up to you.
Exactly.
That's up to you.
I'm going to choose no on that, but
you had your run. You had your run.
You had your run.
Yeah, I did. It was great while it lasted.
Do you think the best days of your hair, like if we were doing, because we've asked people so far, the best sports moment of 2022 was your best hair moment? Do you think you were at your peak performance in the NIT?
I'm going to say probably
90s.
a year
Was that
or two
your
after.
best hair?
Yeah. I think I had a little bit of a Roman Yossi look back in the day. That was probably peak.
A little bit of a
there.
flow.
But it was all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shortly thereafter, you start to see some regression. It just started slipping. It's like George Costanza. He said, "You got to live while you can live." It's the classic deterioration. The pattern started setting in slowly but surely.
Your hair.
Luckily, it wasn't.
Was
it
like,
didn't happen
God,
like
take me away.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't get the ancient Chinese secret to get his hair back.
No, he didn't. Oh my goodness.
No, but he said he's open for a new look.
Oh.
Which, so I don't know. Obviously, I'm setting everybody up. This is going to be now an obsession, and I get it because Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, and people are interested in anything and everything Derrick Henry. But this will become the new obsession, his hair.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And people are going to be asking. Look, he opened that door yesterday, and he's got to realize now people are going to be grilling him on his hair. Because he's had that same look now for a good while, right?
No, he had the beehive in the back, didn't he? Sort of like the bee thing, the bee tail.
Well,
like last year when it was
hive,
all the bee tail when it was all
like
mounted together.
It was more like a tail, not a hive. Yeah.
But it looked like the bee, the bottom half of a bee.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a
I
hive,
gotcha.
but the bottom half of the bee.
I gotcha.
So.
But he's had that look for several seasons, right?
I mean, hell. He rushed for 2,000 yards.
I wouldn't change it.
1,500 yards.
I
wouldn't touch it.
I wouldn't either, but,
The heck would everybody else say?
I think life's been pretty good.
Exactly.
With that look.
I
don't think it has anything to do with his running, but
No,
you know what? Whatever works, works. But no,
all.
he did. So now getting to the promotion.
Uh-huh.
When asked about, there was a report out there about, basically getting a new contract or more money. And he said, sure. Doesn't everybody want a promotion?
Yeah.
I think really what he was trying to get at is if your work wants to give you a raise, does anybody go, no? Like, no, I appreciate that, but I don't want a raise.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it depends on how he performs this year. And nothing tells me that his performance will slip. And I know everybody's worried about this this foot injury, and I know he answered that question over and over again about his foot and how he felt, and do you think your foot feels fine? Now he's like, man, listen, it feels great. I hadn't played in the game, but it feels great. What else is he supposed to say? You've seen his videos. He's able to work out. He's able to do some things that he was able to do last year. So the guy came back and played in a game. So it wasn't like he had the injury and didn't play a game after that. He came back and played a game, still averaged over 4 yards per carry. So I think the foot situation is fine. But just like any other injury,
we won't know.
You don't know until you get out there and get. That's what I say about Robert Woods. You don't know until people start leaning on you and tackling you and pulling you. That's when you truly know, okay, I'm back. Taylor Lewan went through the same thing years ago. That, he came back, but he wasn't himself. It took almost a full year for him to get back to himself. So I think Derrick Henry would be fine. I don't, it's almost like people are just waiting for his fall. Like they're just holding out their arms waiting for him to fall. Let the dude be great.
Isn't that what people do when you're on top?
Exactly. Let the dude be great. Here's my fear. If Derrick Henry rushes for 1,400 yards, people are going to be like, oh,
he's
my
declining.
God, he's declining. 1,400 yards will lead the NFL in rushing.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it will, or close to it. Close to it, yeah.
Yep.
So to me, it's not a decline. To me, it's how do they use him moving forward? Maybe they figure, hey, listen, we don't have to give him the ball that many times. You drafted a young guy. We got some other guys. Let's allow them to take up some of that slack at the beginning. And then we know we always got Derrick Henry because we're going to need him the last 8 or 9 games of the season. So if Derrick Henry rushes for 1,400 yards, people, 10 touchdowns, and still averaging over 4 yards a carry, he's okay. Don't panic. Not too many backs rush for 18, 19, 2,000 yards. The average, your really good back on average is going to give you anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 yards. Derrick Henry was above that, and he was on his way to doing it again before he got hurt.
We'll continue the discussion to close out hour number one.
The efficiency, too. The efficiency with those yards, whatever the yards are, how efficient do you get those yards?
Yeah. How do those yards look? Yep. The eye test.
Yeah.
The eye test. We'll continue the discussion to close out hour number one. The head coach of the Predators, John Hines, is in the building. We'll start hour number two with him. Tyler wants to weigh in on the question on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. He says, hands down, the grand opening of Geodis Park. It's a good one. I expected that one without a doubt. Troy in Murfreesboro says Pekka Rinne jersey retirement game. I expected to see that one as well. Continue those. We're asking for the best moment thus far as we are basically at the halfway point of 2022. The best sports moment so far in 2022 to you. It's subjective. It's a question to you. You take it however you want. Weigh in on our text line, phone line. You can tweet at us, and we'll keep reading those throughout the course of today. Like I said, John Hines will start hour number two. More DDC next.
Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Nashville's home for NASCAR.
He's going to try to make a big move here.
It's brought to you by the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We are your racing station.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another hot and humid day. While it may not be record-breaking, we're still heading up to a high of 98 degrees with a heat index climbing up to 106.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The NBA Finals are here, and so is your chance to score big on FanDuel. Throughout the Finals, FanDuel is giving new customers $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Bet the money line, point spread, player props, and so much more. Plus, you can combine your bets for an even bigger payday with a same-game parlay. For example, you can go with the Celtics, who I think are going to win the whole thing, or build it around Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Maybe even Steph Curry. Just sign up with the promo code JGM. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Join today with promo code JGM and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose. Make every game feel like Game 7 with FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable free bets expire 14 days after receipt and restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Willie Donick here. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? Those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. And inflation is making everything else more expensive. Your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget. If your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. So call Loan Pronto now and unlock that equity and wipe out the bad debt. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
How about we bring you some baseball? Sounds baseball on 94.9. They're on a 6-game road trip. Game 2 tonight against Memphis. 94.9. Action starts at 7 o'clock. Sounds Baseball, 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza and Farm Bureau Health Plans. People weighing in. Best moments so far. Did not expect this one. This is from Tom on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. The best sports moment for Tom in 2022 was the Kentucky Derby winner. I did not expect that one. 80-1, not a very expensive horse. We know the story. And he was losing most of the race. So how about that? Didn't expect that one. Jared in Dixon says he was weighing in on our discussion. What did Derrick Henry say about his hair? And I think he's right. I think what Jared said. He said he might switch it up.
Oh.
So there you go.
You going to put 2 braids in it instead of 1? Like, I think 1 toward the back?
Like I said, it's going to be a thing. He's opened that door, so people are going to continue asking. And he's going to get sick of it, and he'll laugh before he answers it every time. But because he's good about that. Stu weighs in on our text line. Best moment for Stu was Derrick Henry running onto the field for the first game after the injury. Of course, that would be the playoff game against the Bengals. Pretty much the only good thing from that game, though. That's not true, though. They had 9 sacks. That was not the only good thing in that game. He didn't have a very good game. He did get the crowd excited and got everybody pumped up, but They had 9 sacks. That was a pretty good thing.
I think the moment.
Can we think of any other moment?
That is a great moment, though. Him running on the field. That gave you the chills.
It was.
And the goosebumps. No,
everybody, yes.
So that's everybody's.
And by the way,
interpretation of
Willie,
when you
it was
say
such a
great
big
moment.
deal.
What were you saying?
Yeah.
I said it was such a big deal. If you remember when we talked about this, the networks cut away to make sure. I mean, they didn't cut away. They made sure they were there for that moment, and it was live.
Yeah, they anticipated.
If you remember, yes.
And it lived up to the hype. I thought the guy had a really good one that I had not thought of, was the Pecorine jersey retirement game. I don't know if there was one moment, but the great thing about that game was you had the great ceremony, and then the Predators rallied and won a really, really exciting game against the Stars. So that was almost like a whole night, whereas the Derrick Henry is obviously the moment and not the full game. But that's what's great about this question is something pops into your head differently for everybody.
Yeah, and look, I can't believe it took this long. I kind of was making my list as we were throwing it out there. I had the Pecorine jersey night on there for sure, and this one was probably at the top. Well, not probably. It was my number one, and we finally got it on the text line. Mike from Shelbyville says the outdoor Preds game in Nissan Stadium. Even though it was a loss to Tampa, it was about 5 years overdue for us to host one. Yeah, I mean, it's number one on my list.
I can't see how it wasn't.
Almost 70,000 people at a hockey game in Nashville. Come on.
I mean, yes, but I do believe Geodis Park, the opener of Geodis Park, too, is
it's up there. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's up there. If I had to, it would be the outdoor game and then Geodis Park opening.
I had the outdoor game, and for me, it was a double. Because I can't remember, Darren, if you probably at one point or another walked by before the Predators game, while I was watching my son in the state quarterfinals. They were playing over in Knoxville, and the USN Tigers advanced to the Final Four in the state playoffs in basketball, and my son Mahoney hit 4 threes in the game. So there were some people in the cafeteria at Nissan Stadium that saw me sitting off in the corner. I was trying to keep quiet, but I'm fist pumping and doing all these things again. The people from Tampa and the people from the NHL were probably going, "What is this guy have a mental problem or something? Is this guy just like watching? Did they sit this guy off in the corner for a reason?
Check this
guy. Check security. This guy looks very dangerous over here. What's he doing?
Look a little fishy
like
over
pounding
there.
the table and doing things. He's gyrating. What's the problem with this guy? But between those two things, that and the game itself, which was such a great spectacle, we all had such a blast. That was a great day for sure for me, for a couple of reasons.
Derrick Henry was also asked about choosing not to be there for the voluntary OTAs, working out on his own, and thought he gave a great answer. And as we talked about it yesterday, and Willie knows, he was prepared for that question. And he just talked about how in COVID times, when they weren't allowed to go to the building, nothing was normal. Basically, everybody was to them, right? It was up to them to do everything on their own. And obviously who's kidding who? Like, we all learned things through COVID, right? It's changed our mindset, and it's changed his mindset clearly. He was like, I enjoyed doing my workouts on my own time, my own schedule, and with my own people, whoever I choose to do it with.
Yeah, because I've explained this before. There's a lot of really good strength and conditioning coaches within the NFL. Hell, we had one ourselves, and Steve Waterson, and his staff. But you know exactly what you need for your body to make sure you need to get ready and be ready for the season. What the team is doing during the offseason, which is great, but it's not going to prepare Derrick Henry to rush the ball 300 times. It's just not. He knows exactly what he needs to make sure that he can get through a full 17-game season. So when guys are working out on their own with their trainer, I don't mind that at all. Especially if you come back and you're ready to go as soon as we hit the ground. If I see a guy ready to go as soon as we hit the ground, as a coach, I'm not asking any questions. Dude, continue to do what you've been doing. Just be ready when camp starts. That's all I care about. And that's all the other players care about. They're like, if Derrick Henry's not there for a voluntary, those guys are not. They don't care because they know he's working. So nothing tells me that Derrick Henry being there or not being there for voluntary camp is, nothing tells me that he's not going to be ready. Because he's been ready every season he's been a Titan.
The reality is, almost in anything in life, if for any workplace, if they're concerned, if you're away, if you do things away from the office or whatever, whatever the setting is, and people are like, I'm not sure, how much they're really putting in the work. Most jobs, if you're not, you're going to get exposed, right? I mean, that's just how it works. Like, if we don't do anything sports related, we have to, and we try to get on here, and you try to get on here and do this every day for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you're not putting in the work behind the scenes, you're going to get exposed.
Yeah,
that's just how it works. You're gonna be made to look like a fool. It's just not going to work. People in sales like, they're not. Well, is it the proof in the either they're selling or they're not selling? Does it really matter whether they're there or they're not? That's how it works in most work environments where it's production based, right? Either you're producing or you're not.
Exactly.
And if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to produce. So he's proven his formula's been pretty good.
Yeah.
You can question it. I know teams like control. I know they like players being around. That's what you said at the beginning, right? It's about gathering everybody together. I get all that. But the reality is, Derrick Henry, again, not everybody's treated the same. I mean, he's proven that whatever formula he's using, how it's working. And why would you mess with that? I wouldn't. I'd be like, dude, you want to go work? You want to go push tires up a mountain? Go ahead. That's not.
Matter of fact,
that's
take,
not on
take
our
some
campus.
of these guys with you.
In fact, we'll give you a list of guys to take with you.
Exactly.
Okay?
Take a few of these guys with you. Okay.
All right, we're going to come back here from the Fordyce Center in Antioch. We're going to start hour number 2 with Predators head coach John Hines. He is going to sit down and talk with us, and we're going to do that next.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute. Disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Everything is not okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to theGameNashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Tune in to ESPN 102.5 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman & Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, we also offer free towing with any major repairs. If your vehicle has a breakdown and you should need any type towing, towing is available through Dad's Towing Service. Dad's is a professional towing company in Nashville that provides all types towing and recovery, 24 hours a day.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Hey everybody, it's me, Chase McCabe, and I'm so excited to be talking about my go-to drink when I'm out and about, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball is the first and most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. It's an original, just like me, the suit. I take Screwball as a shot, but it's great on the rocks, in an old-fashioned, an espresso martini, and many more. So next time you're out and about, ask for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022, Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-326-7765 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-326-7765. That's 800-326-7765. What do you have to lose? Call 800-326-7765. Again, 800-326-7765.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robbie and Rex Road to DDC.
Stillman and Company. Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
The leading receiver.
Awesome game 7. Checkered flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DDC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Head coach John Hines, outdoors. We have literally put the coach on the hot seat. I mean, literally. Not even figuratively. We put him on a hot seat.
I told him it was the cool seat.
This is no, I know, but it's once you get outside on a day like today, there's really nothing cool. Willie Donick is standing by in the cornfields of Iowa, so he will weigh in as well. Have you been to the Field of Dreams?
I have not been, no.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to get there someday. So
have you seen the movie?
I did, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, great movie. Didn't they have a game,
yeah.
Major League Baseball game there last year, which was pretty cool to see.
Willie's son is out there playing in a tournament out there.
Okay,
so they're
that's
doing
nice.
tournaments, yeah.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
Yeah. He's
Hello, Coach.
he's not spotted Moonlight Graham. Nobody's choked on a hot dog. And he is not – we had advice from the listeners, don't run backwards in the cornfields. I was like, that sounds like sound advice.
It sounds like good advice, yeah. Willie's a sharp guy. I don't think he'll make that mistake.
I don't think he will either. So here we are, down to 2 teams. Tampa and Colorado get things started tonight. You know how this works. A lot of things have to happen to get to this point, and a lot of times, whether it's injuries or what have you, or a team gets out at the right time, typically what everybody has in their mind is pegged going into the playoffs as maybe the 2 best teams. They rarely ever see each other at the finish line. I think they may have gotten it right this year.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have obviously played really well. I think coming out of the West, Colorado was pegged to be the top team, and they certainly haven't disappointed in the way that they've played. I think, you look at the depth that they have in their team. They're getting contributions from not only their top players, but I think, throughout their lineup, and you see where they've got some injuries on D or up front, that next man up mentality. They have the depth and the talent to be able to, I think, sustain some of the injuries that they've had, and even in goaltending. I think in our series, Kemper was out, and then Kemper got hurt again, and Francouz has come in and has been able to hold the fort for them. And I think when you look at Tampa, they have Vasilevsky. I mean, he's the best goaltender in the world. He's a big game player. He wins key games. I think their depth and their commitment to winning, I think some of the thing that's been impressive with Tampa is not just the talent they have, but they've had to adapt in each series that they've gone through, and they've been able to do it. And I think it's obviously a big-time heavyweight fight between the 2 teams, and I think it's going to be a great series.
The hardest thing, I can imagine, You can watch guys on film, and you can study them, and you have scouts who watch them, and you can sit in a room and talk about what they bring to the table on the ice. You can do that, I feel confidently, by just watching them through your scouts and on video. But what you can't do, and yeah, you may have conversations with them, but you don't really know the makeup of somebody, right? Until you get them on your watch. And I think what's impressive to me, the hardest thing in sports is to figure out those guys that have it, those guys that they don't get rattled in the moment, they don't shy away from the big stage and the bright lights. It's very clear Tampa knows how to win, right? They don't get, Pat Maroon, what is this? How many is this in a row now? 4,
yeah.
Stanley?
I think it's could go on
4 in a row
if
if they win it. And I know it's not just him. Obviously, they've got great players, but Tampa doesn't ever wilt. They get down 0-2 to the Rangers, and they win the next 4. Like, how do you find those guys? How do you find guys that are just they come up big in the biggest moments?
Well, I think a lot of times what you try to do, obviously, is if you start out with your drafting, I think that's a big emphasis that you want to be able to face.
Because you can't coach it, right? You can't coach that, or can you?
It's hard. It's hard to coach. I think when you can find players that have it and have a track record of doing it. I think when you do your scouting, you want to look at, players that can play. They play in big moments. How do they play in playoffs? How do they play against the top teams? How do they play against the hardest teams to play against? Even when you're doing your free agent scouting that we're going through now is when we're looking at players. We're not looking at Game 5 of the regular season. We're looking at, how does this particular player, if it's a defenseman, how does he play against Florida, Tampa, Colorado, on the road, in those buildings against top players, big, strong, heavy, hard teams. And I also think you're looking at track records of guys that have been able to have been able to produce in big time moments, and try to get as many of those players as you can in your organization, whether it's through drafting, trading, free agency, whatever it may be. I think that's what you want to do. And Tampa's done a very good job of that. I think when they've had players depart their team, they've been able to really get the right fits of the identity and the culture, and players that, I think their GM said a couple years ago when they traded for Blake Coleman, and I was in New Jersey, it was to win in the playoffs you have to have ultra competitors. And I think that that's a team that is made up of a bunch of ultra competitors that have a lot of talent.
Guys like that when he played, that's what you want, that makeup.
Absolutely.
Kind of like what I bring to the show, dog mentality.
Yeah, you got to have that. I've always talked about an individual having dog in him, not D-O-G, but D-A-double-G. Yeah. It's a guy that never backs down, a guy that's going to, raise up or stand up when things get tough. Typically in sports, we know who those guys are, and we zero in on them very quickly, whether it be in college or in the pros. And I'm sure you guys and your coaching staff, that's what you look for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I think, particularly over the last couple of years, we feel like we've gotten more and more of those guys in. You look at some of the younger players that have come up for us, like a Tanner Janot, for example, Yakov Trenin. The more the temperature rises in the game, the more those guys are there. I think they thrive in those situations. I think you look at some of our other guys, like a guy like Yossi. He's a guy that he doesn't back down. The bigger the game, the higher the stakes, the more intense the competition, the better a guy like him gets. And that's what you're ultimately trying to do, is build a team of guys that have different skill sets, but they have that dog in them. They have that competitive mindset, to be able to compete. And then whatever your skill level is, you could be a big, hard, heavy defenseman, but you've got to be able to play your game in high-stakes games. Could be a highly offensive, skilled player, but you've got to be able to play with no time and space, heavily checked, play through matchups, play on the road. And I think when you can get your team to that competitive mindset filled with those types of players, you're going to give yourself the best chance to win, particularly in the playoffs and ultimately a championship.
Why did you feel like Tanner Janot was best? He was producing, but he was best on that third line. Obviously, they were working, but you were having issues with the second line getting the production you're looking for in a top six. And you would dabble, but you seemed very reluctant. Tanner would slide back pretty quick. What was it about that line that you felt the need you wanted to keep them together?
Style of game. I think when you look at the way that the three of them play, they're real north-south players. They play a pretty simple game where I think they can play fast and quick and hard because they knew where the puck was going to go. It was going to go north. They were going to get in the offensive zone. I think they were going to work as a three-man tandem on the forecheck or offensive zone. I thought they supported each other well, and they were able to play fast and really play to their skill sets. I felt like when we moved Tanner up, whether it was with Joey or sometimes with Granlund or whatnot, those guys think the game at a different level, and they play north-south, but they also can play east-west, and they play fast, but there's different reads sometimes when you play with a Granlund or a Johansson or a Duchesne, that it seemed like Tanner was trying to adapt to that. It doesn't mean that he can't do it, but in this particular season, when he was in those situations, he wasn't as effective from an offensive perspective, and we felt when we put that line together, they had great chemistry, so we felt like that was why we wanted to keep him. And his production was high playing on that line, and sometimes it doesn't mean that because a guy's going to score 20 goals, it still doesn't mean he can play with certain players. It's trying to put guys together that have similar skill sets that can complement each other.
Jeremy Lauzon, 4 years, $8 million deal. Guys traded for him at the deadline. Small sample size. I think 13 regular season games, 3 playoff games. So we really weren't able to see much. You can tell he fits what you're trying to do, your system, what you're trying to get out of this team. But still, small sampling. You know him better than all of us. What do you guys like about Lauzon moving forward?
Well, one, he's a young player. I mean, he's a young guy that we acquired him to come in, and he fits a profile. He's got good size. He's got great mobility. He plays the game hard, and he's got good hockey sense. Those are the things that you want in your defenseman. I think when you look at the teams that have true success in the NHL right now in the playoffs, their average size, their decor is 6'3", 220, 225. They can skate. They're mobile. They got reach. They can end plays defensively, and they have the skating ability to be able to join offensively. And Jeremy has all those contributions. And the one thing, as Derek and I, as we were just talking about, you want to have competitors. Mm-hmm. This guy's a competitor, and he's a young guy. So I think it's a great move for the organization. I think he really fits what we're trying to do. He brings some more size, mobility, and some character to our decor, and he's got a lot of upside, and that's what you want in a player of his age.
Now, is it hard to get a guy that is so used to scoring, a guy that is so offensive-minded, to then become not necessarily all defensive-minded, but to balance both defense and offense? Because, hell, you got some hell of a scorers, whether it's Duchesne or Philip Forsberg, Yossi, but they also play defense as well.
Yeah, it's like different than football, obviously. Like it's a transitional sport, right? So you can be an offensive guy, but there are situations in the game where you're required to be able to play defense. And I think what we've really come as a group to understand is the better you play without the puck, the more you're going to have it, and the quicker you're going to get it back. So the better you defend, the quicker you defend, the less defense you have to play. And I think there's certain things with those guys is understand when they have the puck, when they're in offensive situations. They have some freedom. They have creative minds. They have skill sets. They're going to make some turnovers. They're going to make some mistakes. But they're also going to turn plays that other people can't turn and make plays. So we can live with that. If you make one of those mistakes, what area of the ice is it? Is it in the offensive zone? Is it the offensive blue line? Is it areas where we can recover and they can recover from? They have freedom to be able to make plays, and they got to feel that way. But the other side is when we don't have it, when we're in our defensive zone, when we're under attack, when we're not in areas to score, they've got to have a commitment to defend and play the system because everyone's counting on them to do their job. So it's really having that balance of they got freedom and they got go time when they're in the right areas of the ice and they have opportunities to make plays. But if they can be leaders of our team and drivers in the ability to check the right way when it's called upon, that's when that's when you're going to have I think a really strong team, and that's why they've had really productive years. I mean, they were good on both sides of the puck this year.
All right, Coach, that was a long shift. We'll take a break. Let's hydrate. You got room for more, or are you on a tight schedule?
No, I'm with you guys.
Because I know Willie's in the cornfields. He wants to talk, too.
Yeah, he's probably having a hot dog during this one.
More with John Hines next here on the DDC.
Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Nashville's home for NASCAR.
He's going to try to make a big move here.
It's brought to you by the Nashville Super Speedway. We are your racing station.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 15th, we're running a one-day only special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, clinically proven to open up and repair blood vessels. 60 clinical studies now say this technology can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. And today only, we're offering 4 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 15th. Worth almost $1,000, but call today and it's totally free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and restore those intimate moments. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Races, concerts, and one big party. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix returns to Nashville August 5th through 7th. For 3 days, the streets of downtown Nashville will come alive with the sounds of race cars, music, and cheering fans. 3-day tickets are on sale starting as low as $129. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is a weekend full of entertainment that you don't want to miss, and tickets are going fast. Visit MusicCityGP.com to buy yours today.
Interest rates may be rising elsewhere, but not at Genesis Diamond. Now through June 18th, you can get 0 interest for 5 whole years. That's right. Buy now, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years without a dime in interest. Only Genesis can make an offer like this on rings, earrings, pendants, bands, designer jewelry, even GIA certified diamonds. There's just one catch. This is a limited time offer and it ends June 18th. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs on approved credit.
There's not a better time than now to start feeling young again. Get your energy back, lose some weight, spruce up your look, and get healthy. Invigorate Health can help. They don't focus on just one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with therapies that can restore your vitality and are customized for you. Medically supervised weight loss, hormone replacement therapy, PRP, IV therapy, supplements, Botox, and fillers are some of the services offered. Check out InvigorateHealthTN.com and book an appointment in Franklin, Mount Juliet, or Midtown.
Sunday, June 19th, it's the biggest night in Impact Wrestling as we celebrate 20 years of history at Slammiversary, and every championship title will be on the line. Tickets are on sale now. Go to ImpactWrestling.com for details.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, a dab bar at the Hendersonville location, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Back here on the DDC, Darren McFarland and Derek Mason here at Fordyce Center in Antioch. We're celebrating 615 Day to help out the Boys and Girls Club of Tennessee. We would love for you to donate. You can go to thegamenashville.com/615day. Predators head coach John Hines is also out here with us in the heat. He's not afraid. He's not scared. Willie Donick is standing by in Iowa. I'm not sure it's as hot as it is here, but he is in the cornfields, and you just never know what you're going to get in the cornfields. Willie, the floor is yours.
All right, Coach, greetings from Iowa here, and I am chewing everything I have, including hot dogs, very carefully because we don't want to have Moonlight Graham have to come off the field. I don't know if we can count on that here today, but Coach, I'm out here with my son. He's playing. It's so much fun to watch him play. I know you've got daughters that are all competitive in their sports. So tell people what you do during the summer, like when you get to be a dad and watch your daughters go after it, because I know they get around and compete.
Yeah, I have two in high school. One's going to be a junior. One's going to be a sophomore. Both play volleyball and basketball. So right now, last weekend we were in Atlanta for a volleyball tournament, and then right now this week my other daughter plays Ravenwood basketball. So they have the summer league going on. So she had games yesterday, tomorrow, and Friday. So it's nice to have a chance to be able to see them. And then in a couple weeks we're going to Indianapolis for volleyball nationals, and then there's a little bit of a dead period for 2 weeks in July where we'll get some family stuff going on and go to the draft and have development camp. And then late July, the kids start high school volleyball again, and then school starts August 2nd. So, this is a really good time, to be able to spend time with them, support them in their activities, help my wife out with the driving to and from all the different things. And it's important, I think, in our profession when you're in your off season and you have time to be able to give to your family and your kids, it's important that you do that because, in season you don't have any leeway and you do miss quite a bit. So it's a great time of the year for us to be able to be together as a family, and certainly for me to be able to support them as their dad.
Now, have you mastered the art of keeping the low profile at the game, or are you a fist pumper or clapper? Do you sit with all the other parents and cheer them on when you do, or do you try to hang back a little bit?
Well, the bald head's a dead giveaway, so I can't hide in that. So that's always right off the bat. So sometimes I go with a baseball hat, but no, I mean, you know what? I'm their dad, so it's not. I just like to support them, and no, I'm not. I sit with the family, sit with the other people, but to me, it's their thing, and I want to be there to be able to support them and encourage them and support the coaches, and that's what I do. So kind of low profile. After getting fined $25,000 this year for the refs, I like to stay off the refs the same way. So
you don't want to get in any other lists of referees. That's a good move for sure. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, in the stands too. If I get out of line, and my wife's there to slap me when she's not on the bench.
Yeah, that's really the list you want to stay off of. That's for sure. Coach John Hines is with us here, Coach Nashville Predators. And Coach, you talk about this a lot. Constantly evaluating your team. It's so easy in the league. It seems like when things are going really well, it's easy to start thinking almost that you're better than you actually are. And then on the other side, when you have a rough ride for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe it still starts seeming like you're terrible and nothing can go right. The puck's never going to go in for you, and you're so long from where you got to go. So as we've talked about this a lot, as Colorado has continued to sort of dominate here, we'll see how they stack up against Tampa. Does it give you any new perspective as to the way your season ended? You lost UC Saros, one of the best goalies in the league. Then you had to play Colorado. It didn't go right for you, and there's just that really awful feeling when that series ends. But as you come out of it and you get more removed for it, does your perspective change at all?
Well, it doesn't necessarily change, Willie, in the sense that we all felt like we could have played better in that playoff series, regardless of whether Juice was in the net or not. And it was something I thought, the first two games we weren't at a level that were competitive enough to be able to make it really solid games. I thought game 3 and 4 we were better. But I think that's something that we're really taking a look at, that it wasn't acceptable to us, the way that the season ended, particularly in the playoffs. And those are things, whether that's from a coaching perspective where we can do a better job, and we're working on some things this summer, individual players, guys and certain things that we've got to be better at individually, collectively as a team. And then right now, this is the stage of the year too where, as you said, you're constantly evaluating your team. How can we get better? What types of players can we add to our team, whether that's draft, free agency, trades, whatever that may be, is where, we want to be better and continue to grow our team to a level that can compete for a championship.
So how does the process work? We all have our lists of potential free agents. Of course, some can sign back with their teams. Of course, there's guys on the Predators that you have to make decisions on, of course, with the whole front office. But do you watch tape of other guys who could potentially be fits for you guys? Because there's a way you guys play. You've established the identity of the team and the system that you want to play. So it's probably getting easier to find guys that you think would be fits, correct?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, we have a pretty good we kind of been on the grind here for a bit with that. So, the system that we use is, we meet regularly with our coaching staff, our pro scouts, and our management. And then we go through, goaltenders, defensemen, left shot, right shot, certain player qualities that they all have. We meet collectively as a group and then target potential guys that could fit in the way that we play, guys that fit in the character that we want to bring into our team. You also have to take into years of contract and money, what we can do with our salary cap and the certain players we can come in. We go out and watch video as a coaching staff. The pro scouts have watched these players. The management watch them, and then we all meet, and we kind of, you either eliminate guys or you really zone in and target guys that you fit, that we believe are going to fit our identity in how we want to play in particular positions and what we think certain guys are going to be. You don't just want to go out and get random players. You got to fit the needs that your team has, and then you also look at the character of the player, and then you also look at, okay, what are they going to command in salary and years, and what fits into our team. So we're in that process now. I think we're doing a really thorough job, and we want to be prepared coming the draft in July 13th, that we're all on the same page of the types of players and people that we want to bring in the organization.
We get this a lot, too, when we're talking about the team. People say, well, Forsberg and Yossi and Duchesne, Ryan Johansson, they all had really, really good years. Could they possibly match that again next year? And, of course, as you know, everything is different every year. But people ask, where's the improvement going to come from? So as you look at a lot of your young guys that, first or second year that come in under you, what's the realistic expectation? If those guys the veterans fall back a little bit on production, can you make it up with maybe the collective growth of the young guys? Where do you see that?
Well, I certainly think there's opportunity for that with our young guys, and it's not just the younger players, but I think when you look at some of the guys that we have coming in, I think Tanner can be there, Trennan can be there, Tomasino can be there. I think Tolvanen's going to be able to produce more. When you're an offensive player, sometimes you have down years. It's not easy to be able to produce at a high level year in and year out, particularly for younger players. But I think that we have the character of players and the talent level for those guys to be able to continue to grow and produce for us. We also think it's important too that what are we going to add to our team? We have an opportunity here, whether it's trade, whether it's free agency. Can we add some players to our team that we feel are going to be able to fit the identity that we want to play with? We need some speed, some skill, some size, some competitiveness that can help surround our core players. And I think if we can make the right decisions and things fall the right way, we're really excited about our group. And I think as far as your top players, there's no reason why those guys can't, come back and have great years. One of the biggest reasons they had great years was their consistency and their work ethic. They're competitive guys. They were in great shape. They committed to check without the puck. They were able to play, big minutes for us because they played the game the right way. And if they come back and they have the same mindset and get, we talked with every player, 1 or 2% better in certain areas, and everyone comes back with that mindset coming into training camp, we're going to be an extremely competitive team.
I know last year you had to wait until the last second almost when the free agency started before you knew you had Mikhail Granlund back, a guy that does so many things for you. So as you prepare, we all know that everybody's anxiously waiting to see what the story is with Philip Forsberg. How do you try to gauge and hopefully envision your team with him, but also envision what you would do as a plan B, plan C, et cetera?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going through now. I mean, there's obviously very good communication with Philip. He's around. He's at Centennial Sportsplex. He's working out. He's skating. So, he's in a good spot. We've connected and talked, and I think he's in a good place. But things have to play out, obviously, on the business side with him. So we certainly have a plan. If Philip comes in, this is what he could get paid. These are the years. This is what our team looks like with him on it. Okay, how do we want to surround it? So let's target these types of players, and this is what our budget will look like. Okay, if Philip doesn't sign, okay, what's that next stage? How are we gonna? Maybe there's more players to add. There's maybe a different style of a player to add. Things change, but we certainly have plan A and B for sure. Where you have Philip or you don't have Philip, it's two different situations, but we're certainly prepared. We're working on those things. We have targets in each one, and hopefully for us. We have a lot of respect for Phil. I really enjoy coaching him. He's a big part of our team. He's been a big part of the Predators organization, and certainly from our perspective as coaches, we're hoping that Philip, is going to stay here and continue to be a big part of our team. And, we're optimistic and pretty confident that will happen.
Last thing, John, where do you think getting to the playoffs every year on your watch has been great, especially this year when nobody was picking you guys, but obviously you want to have a run. You want to make a run. Where do you feel like you are? And I know there's a lot of shuffling as you just laid out. What's the status of Forsberg, moves, the draft, everything, free agency. So you don't know what your roster is going to look like. But what you do have moving forward, do you feel like you guys, you feel comfortable with trying to get to that next step, which is obviously out of the first round and making a run?
Yeah, certainly. I think when you look at the components to be able to have success, okay, you have to have goaltending to win. So we have goaltending to win with Saros, right? You come in, you got a Norris Trophy winning top end defenseman in Yossi. You have a guy like Matthias Ekholm, who's a big 6'4", two-way shutdown defenseman. So you have two guys, on D that kind of backbone that. We feel like, we need some progress. We need some progress from Fabro, from Carrier. We like Lazon. Are we going to add? What's the next? Can we add into that D-core to help a Yossi or Carrier? Yossi or Ekholm. A little bit of size, more range. I think if we can hit that, our D-core is going to be better and more of a D-core that looks like they're winning in the playoffs. I think when you look up front, our top guys have a lot of game left in them. I think that they're driving the culture, they're driving the identity. I think that's in a good place as long as we continue to have those guys improve and drive. They got a lot of game left in them. I think when you look up front, we have some good young players that have been big-time impacts for us so far, but they're gaining experience. They've played first 82 games. They've had the playoffs, but they're the type of players and style of players that give you a chance to win. So I think, again, if we can make one or two of these guys pop next year, see what happens this offseason. Can we add the right style of players to our team that are going to make us a little bit bigger, faster? If we do those things and that's our plan, I think we give ourselves the best chance to have a good 82-game schedule, get in the playoffs, and win some rounds and try to make a run.
What do you think the degree difference is with where you sit during games and to where you've been sitting for this interview? What are we talking about? 80 degrees?
You know what? I sweat I sweat in both. In the games, it's my armpits. Today is my head.
Man, if you're sweating in games out on the ice, I can only imagine.
The sweat comes from different areas.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for doing this. Best of luck moving forward. I know we'll talk to you down the road. Have fun this summer with the family, and we'll talk soon.
All right, we'll do. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Predators head coach John Hines. We'll take a break. More DDC next.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Nashville.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Listen to Stillman and Company with me, Caroline Fenton, all season long on ESPN 102.5 The Game for your chance to win Nashville Sounds tickets courtesy of 312 Pizza Company in Germantown.
Post Malone, the 12 Carat Tour. The long-awaited event comes to Nashville with special guest Roddy Ricch. Bridgestone Arena, October 16th. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public, on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Get tickets at livenation.com. New album 12 Carat Toothache available everywhere.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic, agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
615-249-4024. QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Greg McElroy, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going through now. I mean, there's obviously very good communication with Philip. You know, he's around. He's at Centennial Sportsplex. He's working out. He's skating. So, you know, he's in a good spot. We've connected and talked, and I think he's in a good place. But things have to play out, obviously, on the business side with him. So we certainly have a plan. If Philip comes in, this is what he could get paid. These are the years. This is what our team looks like with him on it. Okay, how do we want to surround it? So let's target these types of players, and this is what our budget will look like. Okay, if Philip doesn't sign, okay, what's that next stage? How are we gonna? Then maybe there's more players to add. There's maybe a different style of a player to add. You know, things change, but we certainly have, plan B for sure, where you have Philip or you don't have Philip. It's two different situations, but we're certainly prepared. We're working on those things. We have targets in each one, and hopefully for us, we have a lot of respect for Phil. I really enjoy coaching him. He's a big part of our team. He's been a big part of the Predators organization, and certainly from our perspective as coaches, we're hoping that Philip, is going to stay here and continue to be a big part of our team. And we're optimistic and pretty confident that will happen.
All right, there you go. Predators head coach John Hines back here on the DDC. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here at the Ford Ice Center in Antioch. Willie D is out in the cornfields of Iowa. Lindsey Rowley here at the table with us. This is not going to feel like a bench hit. It's going to be a little bit warmer. John Hines just told us
toasty.
He sweats during games down on the ice. I was like, boy, I
was
can't
wondering.
imagine.
I put this headset on. It's a little damp. So I was like, all right, Coach. We just got a little bit closer.
Yeah. So you were off while we were talking to Coach Hines, dunking Chase.
I was. I will say I cheated a little, but ain't cheating, ain't trying when it comes to things like that. So I missed with the tossing the balls, but I ran up and he
went in.
He went all the way in. I think it's deeper than he expected. He
Oh,
went,
really?
Like, under the water.
Oh, like head under?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was.
Oh.
He gone.
I would be upset if didn't nobody hit the target in this heat. Boy.
That's what I said. When I walked up to him before, I was like, don't you kind of want to get dunked? And he was like, well, I don't know.
Here's the question, and I'm kind of being serious. Can he swim?
You know what? You should put a poll out right now on Twitter.
I'm
going to say no, but I bet he floats.
I mean, we've seen him do athletic things, so if we're basing off of the things that we've seen him do, then no, he can't swim.
We've seen him attempt.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You said we've seen him do athletic things.
I asked him if he was going to go skate with the kids inside, and he said, I asked Skillsy to teach me to skate, and he just laughed at me, and I was like, well, that sounds about right.
Yeah, did you see him try curling?
No, he was not with us that day. Because we did as a broadcast team. We did curling in Winnipeg.
I'll show you a video during the break.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Curling was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be when I tried it. But
Chase would agree. You'll see from the video.
Did he bite it?
Whatever you think it's going to look like that and more.
Oh, I love that.
So
Can't wait.
you heard John Hines talking about Forsberg.
Yeah.
So I want to know from you what your thoughts are, because you've seen the video, right? He made an appearance Saturday at Nissan Stadium with CMA Fest.
Yes.
So you've been in that situation. Well, you had a microphone in your hand. You've been up there in front of a crowd, Lindsay.
I have.
Did you find that? What did you think of that? That whole minute and a half exchange.
I don't know. I just because knowing him and his fiance Erin really well, I just don't see them ever wanting to leave Nashville, and I know how excited they are about her opportunities here, his opportunities here. I mean, this is their home. I can say that. I mean, I'm not a player by any means, but being a part of this organization, and especially from a team aspect, really turns into your family. And being behind the scenes with the team this year, seeing the dynamic in the locker room, seeing how close these guys were, which doesn't always happen in sports. We all know that. But this team, I think a large reason for the success was how much they care about each other on and off the ice. So I think that's a pretty tough dynamic to leave, and not to mention the future looks bright for the Preds, and Philip wants to win a cup. So.
Yeah. I thought it was a little odd considering CMA Fest has a lot of out-of-towners.
Yes.
The whole re-sign Forsberg chant, with I'm sure a lot of people going, I don't know what's going on here. I live in California or whatever.
Yeah, but let's be honest. There was probably enough alcohol in all of their system, but they were like, yeah, whatever,
sure,
do it.
we'll
Resign
him, whoever he is, let's resign him. Hey, two more Bud Lights.
I know, right?
That's true. That's a good point. They don't care.
They don't care. They just want something to cheer for, whether it's a beer or Philip Forsberg.
So you do the off season, summer.
Yeah.
You know how it works, but
Yes,
you
sir.
also do other things. So what have you been doing? A little ACC work?
I did the ACC baseball tournament. It was 12 games in 4 days. I was the only one in or out of the truck that did all 12 games at the event. And, I mean, it sounds brutal, and don't get me wrong, it was, and I slept for a week afterwards. But it is such a fun event, and I've gotten to know the ACC coaches so well. So it really is a good group of guys. It's always an event I look forward to. In the last 2 years, because of COVID, I mean, they didn't have it 2 years ago in 2020, 2021. They didn't have a reporter because of COVID. So this was my first year back, and my first year at Charlotte for the Charlotte Knights. If you ever get a chance to go, man, that is a gorgeous setup.
Really?
Oh, it's stunning. And it's like you're looking at the Charlotte skyline, and it's a newer
So
park.
they did it right.
Oh, it was beautiful if you get a chance to go. I love Durham because it's old school. You got my buddy, I can't think of his name, the older gentleman who does the manual scoreboard in the outfield. It's like totally old school. You know, the Bull Durham, all the stuff. But Charlotte's more of a newer age kind of park. So if you get a chance to go, it really is beautiful.
Wow. So did Georgia Tech come out of that? They ended up in Knoxville.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They were in the.
I covered all the pool play. And then I
Okay.
didn't cover semis. I didn't cover the finals.
Oh, okay.
But after that, I'm always cheering on just because I know the teams pretty well at that point. But, I know there was a lot of people. The one that NC State didn't end up getting in to,
I know.
and there was a lot of drama behind that.
I
think they should have gotten in. After watching them and the way they performed at the tournament, I think they should have gotten in.
Well, look, and I know this is going to make Willie cringe because of the whole Vandy thing. Look, because of what happened last year, I felt bad because they got, and I know that's just part of it, but I mean, they got it. It basically eliminated them whenever all their best players.
It was very
got COVID,
unfortunate. That was very unfortunate.
So that's why I felt
see
bad
that.
because that team may have. I don't know. They were hot. They were hot at the right time. They may have.
Yeah.
They may have won it all. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
last
I know. And that's because I love Elliot Avent. Their head coach is turned into a good friend of mine. We always talk bourbon. He's a big bourbon guy.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a big bourbon guy. So we're always talking different bourbons that we've tried when I see him at the tournaments. But
What's your go-to? What's the one you like the most?
My family has a lake house in New York, and there's a place called Southern Tier. And Willie will vouch. When we were in Buffalo, they have a Southern Tier. When we were playing against them, so we went to it. But they have their own distillery right down the road, and so that's always been my favorite. But probably lately, I've been doing a lot of Four Roses single batch. Yeah, that's my go-to probably.
All right.
Or Woodford's really good too.
Woodford's good.
Yeah.
Wellers are never bad. Blanton's never
I'm
bad.
also not a picky person, so
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Let's
In other
roll.
words, let's just
put it
line
on the
them up.
table.
Let's just line them up.
I know that sounds horrible. Sorry, Mom. If you're listening, but-
Willie, you got one in you?
Well,
from the
no, I can't
cornfields?
say I can't vouch for Riley that when we went to Buffalo, that she had it circled the exact location we were going to go. Most of the times we get to a new city, we just roll out and say, okay, where do we go? But this was an advanced plan. Riley said, this is where we're going.
I know.
So
but Willie,
when
you
you get
liked
to
the
your
beer
room,
you tried.
There was
Didn't
some
you?
bag chucking going on right there. Was
There
a true
was.
bag chuck. We're going right there. No, it was outstanding, that place.
Yeah,
It was great.
It's a good spot. I think I bought half the merchandise in the store when I was there too. After a few of their bourbons, I was the credit card was loose.
They got you.
Yeah.
She's just swiping everywhere.
I know.
Swipe, swipe.
think Hal and Mace looked over at one point, and I was like arms full and had like a toque on my head too of walking around. I was like embarrassing.
Here's what let me just throw this at you, Linz, because by the way, you would love to do the sideline for the Field of Dreams, although I would tell you that there's no cover, right? There's absolutely zero back. What am I trying to say? Why can't I think of it? The backstop. I mean, there's a backstop that's about 8 feet wide, but there's no netting or fence along the side.
Oh my gosh!
So you'd have
How
to
did
be
they
very
get away with
careful where
that?
you stand. It's just old school. It's from the movie. Nothing has changed. So it's like
oh my gosh, that sounds
ancient
like a
times.
lawsuit waiting
Who's
to happen.
chasing foul balls?
The players are chasing the foul balls. That's not a problem because there's so much space there.
Has anybody gotten hit, Willie?
Well, there have been some close calls, and you have to be paying attention. I was
Oh
sitting
my
on the bench
gosh.
where the little girl does fall over and get choked on the hot dog. So I mean, you're right on it.
Aw.
So you could get hit at any point. So I should have brought my glove. Is what I should have done. But this is a fantastic spot. But I want to get you to talk about John Hines a little bit because I feel like with the pandemic and when he was hired and all this stuff, it's hard for him. We got a little sense of his personality when he was just on with us. And
Yeah.
you and I get to see that a little bit more than I think our fans do. But just give us your perspective of what he's like to deal with.
Oh, I think he's great. Obviously, like you said, Willie, we deal with him every game day. I interview him for our pregame show every game day, and he's never. I don't think I can remember ever one time walking up and being like, "Oh, coach isn't in a good mood," which isn't an easy thing to say if you think about it. For how many games we play and the ups and downs when you go through a season, like there's bound to be a day where it's just like you're ready to kill one of your leading scorers or whatever. But I mean, we know
One
how
of your
it goes.
announcers.
Yeah, one of your
Hal.
announcers, you're ready. Yeah, he's ready to backhand Skillsy or something. But no, he's always been like so great and candid with us and his answers and honest. He doesn't really, I mean, obviously I ask him in advance what I'm allowed to ask him just out of respect. But I don't think he's ever said no to me on anything that I can't touch on. He doesn't really dance around the bush. He doesn't, or, excuse me. I don't know, what's the saying I'm looking for?
Beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush.
But you
It's
can
hot.
dance if you want
It's
to
like
dance.
You can dance around the
105
bush too,
degrees.
man. I mean,
Dancing
listen.
around the
Willie,
bush
it's
is the same
105
as beating
degrees,
around the
man.
bushes. Yeah.
Sweating. But anyway, no, but he's always given very honest answers, and it's not cliches. It's always he's giving insight, and he's not talking, I don't think, down to our audience. He's always talking up to them, and I think that's something to be said for a head coach. Because, I mean, how many times have we seen interviews where we're like, get pucks deep and, battle in the corner or whatever it may be. And it's just like, all right, bud, give me something. And he does. Every time we interview him, I feel like I get something where I walk away to our pregame producer, Jake Hartsfeld, and I'm like, that third answer, whatever it was awesome. And not only that, Willie, we can say even like on the plane when we travel with him, hey guys, how you doing? He's always talking to us, asking us about his wife played a volleyball at Pitt. Both of his daughters play volleyball. So we're always talking volleyball, him and I. So he's just, I think, overall a great guy. And I'm really a big fan of his as a coach since he's gotten here as well.
All right, let's go inside.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
game
you
on.
for stopping by.
Love it. I'm going to go slide down the ice, pull a belly flop down it. I don't think the kids will like that, but, well, actually, they probably love it.
All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up the second hour. Mike Vrabel, we'll hear from him at 12:15. Eddie George will stop by the table at 1 o'clock today as well. More 615 days celebrating. We're raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Tennessee. We'll come back, wrap up the second hour next.
Checker flag.
Join Chase McCabe for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 for all the news in the world of motorsports.
Joey Logano gets the very first victory in the next-gen car
while hearing from the big names.
Two-time champion Kyle Busch.
Being able to bring NASCAR, the Cup Series, back to Nashville is cool.
It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Another hot and humid day. While it may not be record-breaking, we're still heading up to a high of 98 degrees with the heat index climbing up to 106.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
This year, escape to Land Between the Lakes for an exciting day trip away from home, only an hour and a half northwest of Nashville. They have over 170,000 acres of forest and wetlands on a peninsula in western Kentucky and Tennessee. Hiking, camping, fishing, kayaking, canoeing, outdoor learning, you name it. Land Between the Lakes is where you want to be.
Get up close and personal with wildlife at the Woodlands Nature Station. Take a scenic drive through the elk and bison prairie. Visit the 1850s home place working farm and see what life was like over 170 years ago.
Plan your adventure at landbetweenthelakes.us.
Erectile dysfunction ruins sex, but it's more than that. It harms otherwise good relationships. It destroys marriages. It can cause depression and anxiety, and it can be extremely hard on a man's self-esteem. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, if it's affecting you, I want you to know that if you're like most men, we can treat it and get you back to the man you used to be. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we're ED experts. Our protocols have success rates as high as 90%. We've successfully treated thousands of men in the Music City, and we have a variety of treatment options and treatment combinations that could have you performing like you haven't in years. You could even last up to an hour and experience great sex again that is satisfying for both you and your partner. In treating your health, expertise matters, so make an appointment today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop in the Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, a dab bar at the Hendersonville location, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Introducing the first Nashville location of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Midtown. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ with fun, effective, and empowering group boxing circuit workouts. Become a founding member today. Stop by the brand new studio in Midtown at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Good stuff. Boy, we had a loaded second hour. Predators head coach John Hines. Lindsay Rowley just had a good conversation with her. We'll hear from Titans head coach Mike Vrabel at 12:15 when he talks to the media. We'll try to check in to that live back here on the DDC. Also, Eddie George will stop by at 1 o'clock. I think Chase, I don't know if his duties are done at the dunking tank, but I know we know he did go under. Jared supposedly will be out there at 12:30 if you want to go dunk him. Look, it's all in good fun. and to raise money for a great cause. So we're celebrating 615 Day. Boys and Girls Clubs of Tennessee, they're out here. You can see them, heavy presence. A lot going on. I'm trying to get caught up because couldn't see our screen. We were going to faint out there, Derek. We're soft,
you guys did a good job. You guys did a very good job. You would not have known that you were an unbearable heat while that was going on. I thought you guys all did well. You referenced it, but
you just got to hydrate.
John Hines said,
"Just got to hydrate."
You guys were calm, cool, collected. No question. I have a question for you guys. You heard John Hines, very candid on the Forsberg thing. Did his optimism on Forsberg sway, or did you take it as optimism? He said the word, "I'm optimistic." Fairly confident, I think is the other quote he said, that they would get the Forsberg thing done. But at the same time, he did say, look, we've got to prepare for all scenarios. But what did you think of what he said there?
I think you have to be with anything in this situation in regards to contracts with individuals who are restricted, unrestricted free agents or restricted free agents. You have to hope for the best but prepare for the worst. I've seen plenty of times where, you think a guy's coming back and then all of a sudden he signs with another team, or a guy you think that's going to make the team, he ends up getting cut. So as a front office, you always have to, or as a head coach, because a lot of those decisions are made above you. Yes, you do have some input, but it's not just, okay, hey, listen, I like this player. He's going to be good for our team. Well, we all know that, but we're all trying to work out a deal that is not going to handicap us, moving forward in regards to money. So, I think Coach Hines said what any coach would say with a player of Philip's stature. Hey, listen, we want him back. We know he loves being here. We love having him on the team. But we also have to prepare if indeed he doesn't choose to sign with us and go somewhere else. So we got to have a plan A and a plan B. You never want to get to that plan B, but you got to have it. I didn't look – listening to him, it didn't change how I felt in regards to, if Philip's back or not. Mine's is still, 60-40? 60 that he's not, 40 that he is. But I know theirs has to be a little bit more optimistic than mine. I think you guys is, your percentage is more optimistic than mine, but you guys are in it every day during the season, so you understand it a little bit more than I do. I'm just looking at it from a contractual standpoint.
We'll continue the discussion on the other side to begin the third hour. Also, Mike Vrabel, we'll hear from him. Viking Matt weighed in on our text line. His favorite sports moment this year was Willie becoming Villy. He also wants to know, another favorite moment of his was what the plan was for the Predators. The Predators' plan. That was another favorite moment of his. But in all seriousness, he was having fun. He said his was the Pecorine retirement game. So good stuff. Remember, that'll do it for hour number 2. We'll come back. Third hour, live here from Fordyce Center in Antioch. 615-day celebration continues on.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, Willie Donick here. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? Those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month, and inflation is making everything else more expensive. Your home can save you right now. Your home's value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it, and you can access it with Loan Pronto. They specialize in zero-cost cash-out home refis. Get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. And yes, VA loans are eligible. With a VA loan, you can access up to 100% of your home's value. So pay off high-rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut about $800 or more from their monthly budget. So if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. So call Loan Pronto and unlock that equity and wipe out the bad debt. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
The official Monster Truck Series. Witness the world's best drivers competing in your favorite Monster Jam trucks. Be part of the action.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Brought to you by Great Clips. Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. Restrictions and additional charges may apply. See savings coupon for details. Coming to Nissan Stadium June 25th.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics at Harding Place offers world-class orthopedic care. The doctors at their Harding Place location specialize in general orthopedics, foot and ankle, hip, pain management, hand, wrist, and elbow trauma, total joints, and orthopedic spine surgery. They offer same-day appointments, so get back to enjoying life sooner. Schedule your appointment online at tnhouston.com. Conveniently located at 394 Harding Place in Nashville. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
Time is running out on the hottest finance offer of the year at Genesis Diamonds. Now through June 18th, you can get 5 years zero-interest financing on practically anything and everything. A $10,000 handcrafted Tacori ring comes to just $167 a month. Surprise them with something memorable. Put nothing down and pay absolutely nothing in interest for 5 whole years. Wedding bands for just $40 a month. Stud earrings just $30 a month. Don't miss this amazing offer. But hurry, it ends June 18th at 5 p.m. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
The leading receiver.
Awesome game 7.
Checkered flag in the air. The game.
A Cromwell media station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DDC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Third hour, Darren Domick and Chase and D-Mace here at the Fordyce Center in Antioch. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here. Willie Donick in Iowa. Chase was underwater earlier. Jared, I guess, is going to be in the dunk tank at 12:30 is what I'm being told, and I guess Rex Road will follow. So great crowd here. Boy, the kids went nuts when Nash came into the building. They went crazy, but there's a lot of stuff going on here today. Awesome day here, raising great money. By the way, you could go to thegamenashville.com/615day to donate. There's auction items, a lot going on. Sean Mack from Dixon weighed in on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Best sports moment was attending his first NHL game, which was the Predators playoff game. Been to many Preds game, but never a playoff game. It was a lot of fun. Oh, his first ever playoff game. So that's cool. He got to experience that. So
there you go.
Sean in Dixon, hope you had a lot of fun. Michael in Clarksville said his best moment, sports moment to this point in 2022, UT going down on Sunday to Notre Dame. I was waiting for that one.
Oh, boy. I knew somebody was going to jump in on that.
I mean, I knew somebody was going to go there.
Hater.
Michael, you were a UT hater.
Well, that is one thing,
Balls
though.
hater.
Overall, we've had great games and I'm thinking really more for the Predators, but I think there's a lot of venues that in 2022, for the first time, you really had a chance for postseason with fans for the first time in a good while. Like full throttle fans, not having to worry about anything, anywhere, and that's been a really good thing. You've had some great atmospheres because of it.
So going back to your question, like I said, we'll hear from Mike Vrabel in about 10 minutes. I don't know what he's supposed to say. So it's hard for me to say, oh, I just changed my odds to it's better. I don't know what John Hines is supposed to say other than that. I feel good about it.
I thought he went beyond what he had to. I mean, I think there would be, if there was a lot of worry, I don't think he would have gone as far as to say.
Well, what do you think he would have said? Give me his answer. Tell me a worried John Hines. What's his answer?
Okay, a worried John Hines. This is what I would say. Hey, Philip has earned the right to be an unrestricted free agent. He's got a chance to weigh his options. He at this point, he's got every right to take it into the unrestricted free agent market, where we hope that he comes back here, but he's got all those options. Like there's a lot of different ways that you would throw that out there. And I'm not saying
worried, Willie. He was sweating though.
He was sweating. Now, I don't know if it's because of the Forsberg.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I thought
contract,
he was,
but he was sweating with us.
But I didn't think he was worried though. I thought he used the word optimistic, pretty confident. I think that says something. So I'm raising mine from 70 to 73% based on that exchange with John Hines.
A whole 3%.
Went up a 3% bump.
3%. Yep.
Hey, you just got a promotion.
I'm staying
3% bump.
I'm staying cautious. Look, I've been confident all along that this is going to get done between July 1st and July 10th. That's when I believe the window will be. But I'm still leaving. Like I'm like him. You've got to hold out. You got to be
hopeful. I guess you have to. I mean, in this situation, But again, I mean, I don't know what coach is supposed to say in this. When you're talking to the Predator fan base, on a flagship station, what are you supposed to say? I mean, even if you knew there was I
just don't think he would have gone
exactly.
there.
He wouldn't have gone. Not now.
I don't
you
think
still
so.
got, 3 weeks left?
3.5 weeks.
Yeah. Even if signs sort of looked like he was going another direction, you wouldn't say that because you know how sports is. Things change. So I didn't go up. I didn't go to 60. I didn't go to 43%.
You didn't go 63.
Yeah.
So you did not flop?
Yeah, I didn't flop.
60-40 the other way?
Exactly. It didn't sway me the other way. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess there's a way to look. If I'm going to sit on there and say, if he went out on stage, that's got to mean something good, right? I mean, if I'm going to say that, I can see, Willie, why you would take it that way. I mean, that's
well. I didn't change when Forsberg did what he did on the stage. The cringeworthy secondhand embarrassment that Adam Vigan coined the phrase. I did not change my percentage at all at that point. I did on this 3%.
A 3% bump. 3%. So it was worth John Hines coming on. We got a 3% bump.
Willie went 3%.
Yeah.
There you go.
73-27.
Willie, I guess.
I thought he honestly.
In today's
go back
stock market,
and
that'd
listen
be
to the
good.
whole thing. I thought he gave us a lot of good insights there. Like it was a long interview. Like that's a 2-segment interview. But if you go back and listen to that, if you missed it, I think if you listen closely, there's a lot. He does not shy away from the big issues that he knows the team. But you hit him, Darren, with another one. He could have been very defensive. Yeah, nobody picked us
to win it.
About the gap between his team and Colorado. He could have taken the ball and said, hey, look, Colorado has proven that they're really, really good. I feel differently. He said, no, we could have played better in that series. He has never, in any public interview that I've heard, used the card of, hey, if we would have had UC Saros, that would have given us a much better chance. He's never gone there, to his credit, and it would be easy for him to do that, because he said, look, we've got to get better. And he really laid out a lot of things on what they have to do to get better.
All right, we have a couple minutes before we need to step aside. We'll come back and hear from Mike Vrabel out at minicamps. I think Chase is out of the booth. We got wind that Lindsey went up there because she was mad that the ball hit it. It didn't dunk him, so she went up there and made sure he got dunked. And she told us he went completely under, which was a little bit surprising. And the question I raised is, can Chase swim?
Yes,
as Nash
I can
is
swim.
making his rounds.
Yes, I
you
can swim. I can. Nash dunked me, too. He was a bad kitty.
Nash dunked you.
He dunked me. But, yeah, Lindsey and, Lindsey made a very good point. I don't know if she said this with you guys. If Skillsy had been here, I mean, he wouldn't even have thrown a ball. He would have just gone and hit it and laughed at me as I went down. So –
every time you probably would have got back up, he would have hit it again.
Yeah, right. He wouldn't even let me get back up. Like I would sit down and just hit it again. So, no, it was fine. I'm going to be honest with you. It actually felt really nice. So
it did.
It was the little breeze was going, and so it was refreshing. But it was cool, and a bunch of the kids from the Boys and Girls Club were out there taking their shots, and several dunked me. So it was cool. Glad to do it. Jared Stillman at 12:30. So I'm sure Mike Vrabel and John Hines and John Robinson are all coming down here to do that. Just everybody's going to come and take a shot at Jared.
Is Rex Road follow?
Yeah, Rex Road's this afternoon. He's when he wraps up at Titans, he will be down here.
Okay.
But it's cool, and it's a easy little donation to the Preds Foundation and the Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee, and you can dunk us.
There you go. A dunk update.
Yes.
Speaking of Titans, we'll come back. We'll hear from Titans head coach Mike Vrabel. How did today's
Can one of you bring me
action
a towel?
go out at the facility? Derek usually brings a towel.
Yeah, I ain't got one today. I'm sorry, Chase.
We're kind of like Deshaun Watson. We're no towel today, so
you're good.
Yeah, just go stand in the middle of the parking lot. You'll dry off.
Which, by the way, we'll get into a little bit later.
Long.
Him speaking yesterday. Why did they do that? But we'll get into that a little bit later yesterday, or a little bit later in the show. We'll come back. We'll hear from Vrabel on the other side. DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game, 106.3 in the Game Nashville app.
Join Chase McCabe for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 for all the news in the world of motorsports.
Joey Logano gets the very first victory in the next-gen car
while hearing from the big names.
Two-time champion Kyle Busch.
Being able to bring NASCAR, the Cup Series, back to Nashville is cool.
It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Ample Collision Centers and the Nashville Superspeedway.
On ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 15th, we're running a one-day only special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, clinically proven to open up and repair blood vessels. 60 clinical studies now say this technology can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. And today only, we're offering 4 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 15th. Worth almost $1,000, but call today and it's totally free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and restore those intimate moments. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Don't miss the Electronic Express Father's Day sale. Save big on Father's Day gifts from brands like Charbroil, Yeti, Samsung, GE, Sony, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. Outdoor living, appliances, 4K TVs, smart home, furniture, and more. Save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make Father's Day happen.
The city famous for its music is about to be overwhelmed by the Symphony of Speed. June 24th through 26th, Nashville Superspeedway will host an exciting weekend of NASCAR racing and entertainment featuring the Ally 400 Cup Series race, the Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com or call 866-RACE-TIX and brace yourself for some full-throttle fun.
Are you just riding through life, living, but not really living? If that sounds like you need to treat yourself to Cartronics, Nashville's premier one-stop shop for vehicle customization since 1982. Their team of install techs provide a 5-star experience from start to finish, ensuring your vehicle is the coolest ride on the block. From cars and trucks to boats, motorcycles, golf carts, and off-road vehicles, Cartronics specializes in personalizing your automotive experience. So visit their website at cartronics.audio and start living today.
The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation. Call or text the Game at 615-737-1025.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, a dab bar at the Hendersonville location, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
I love this show. Never miss a moment of the show. Okay, all right, okay. Subscribe to the DDC podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Let's do this. We're going to do a little switcheroo. Mike Vrabel a little bit later. Jeffrey Simmons in the on-deck circle. But first, just for listening to this spectacular show today, how about a pair of tickets to the Rackley Roofing 200? That's the Truck Series race on Friday, June 24th. And the Tennessee Lottery 250. That's the Xfinity race on Saturday, the 25th at the Nashville Superspeedway. Caller 7. 615-737-1025. Max Hers will be standing by at the Hillside Medical Game Studio awaiting lucky caller 7. Good luck. Let's hear from Big Jeff.
How much can I improve, not just, doing drills right now, but in the film room, in the weight room, or anything like that. So my focus is not on my contract. That's why I got a team around me to actually, they can focus on, all the contract talk and whatever it may be, if it is contract talk. So, like I said, my focus is on football right now.
Coach Williams said you're not hurt, so if you're focused on football, how come you're not on the field?
Because we are on, I kind of just said that me and Vrave and them came to a plan where, what they think best for me right now, and, that's where I'm a player, and I believe in Coach Vrave, and I believe in Todd and them that, since I've been here, they've been putting me in a great position to be the player I am today. So, I'm on a plan with them right now. So
is it odd for there to be a plan for a healthy player who hasn't been around not to be on the field unless it's over his contract?
Well, I'm not, like I said, if it is by contract, I don't know, because I'm not talking to them about my contract. I have a team in place that if it is by contract, they're going to talk about it with whoever upstairs. But like I said, Brave don't handle the contract. So I think, like I said, my job is to be a player, be a leader not just on the field, but in the weight room, in the locker room, or whatever it may be. So like I said, I'm on a plan, and I'm sticking with it, and I'll see you guys in camp.
What have you done, Jeffrey, I guess, over the last couple of months maybe to kind of start gearing up for the season?
Well, it's just been a lot of things that me personally that I want to work on to take my game to the next level, and that, if it's, just trying to be more disruptive, get up the field more, try to keep my feet moving, not just in the run game or not just in the pass game, but also in the run game. I think a lot of speculation around that, I'm just working on a lot more pass rush, which I'm not. So I think that's been my biggest thing this offseason. Even in the run game, how can I keep my feet moving when I make contact and stuff like that? It's just a small detail that – could take my game to the next level. And like I said, it's always, good to be around, I guess, for instance, my uncle who played in the league that could, break down film with me, that could show me, okay, this is why you missed, did you make the play in the backfield? This is why you missed a sack. So I think that just been my biggest thing this offseason. How can I speed my footwork up? How can I, take the small things to take into my game to actually make them, tackle for loss or sacks. So
where does the weight reduction play into where you're trying to get as far as taking your game to the next level?
I think it's, not just, on the field. I think it's for me when I, walking around or, I think when I get more later into my career, like I said, having guys like my uncle around that says and have experience, especially playing in the trenches, it's like, all that weight on them joints and stuff like that, I think take a toll on your body. And I think, if I could keep playing at a consistent level, weight, that I think that it'll help me, especially later in the season, from getting even banged up or whatever it may be. And I think that just, with me, I feel good when I'm light. I feel good, because I still feel strong. I still feel like myself. So I think just me getting down and being consistent at, right around, maybe 295, but right around 300 in that range, I think that'll feel good for me. And just being able, to help the team the best way I can by staying healthy. So.
How was the Von Miller, the pass rushing summit? How was that for you?
Oh, it was great. Of course, with Von Miller, he'll tell you that, we didn't do really drills. I walked through a lot of stuff with D. Ware, but, just to be around them guys, Calais Campbell and all them older vets, just to hear their perspective on the way they rush and the way they attack guys, I think that was good for me because, especially being a young guy, I'm there with a lot of guys who have 100 sacks. I think it was like 3 or 4 guys that in the 100 sack range. And, of course, it's a pass rush summit, so, I'm all ears to it. And also, it just went on the field. It was also, went to the film room. So I think that was my biggest thing, to get around them guys, to see how they think, how do they approach, certain blockers, if it's a jump setter or whatever it may be. So I had a great time just to learn. I took a lot of notes. I made sure I had me a notebook and pen. So I took a lot of notes from them guys. And, it was just great to be around all them vets. So.
Where'd you play at last year, Jeff?
I would say I was up like 312, 315. I wanted to come in a little lighter, but that wasn't the case, I guess, all season. And I think that's where I said the consistency with my weight, I guess, watch what I eat later in the season will help me out as well.
Aaron Donald's been the standard for a decade on the defensive line. Do you think, in your mind, you can be that next guy?
Everyone played the game different. And like I said, when a lot of guys, and I get asked a question like that all the time, I'm my own player. I feel like I play the game different than Aaron Donald or whoever the next guy may be. So I think that just when I'm playing the game, I want to be around the ball. I don't want to just make sacks or tackle for loss. I want to chase the ball down the field. And a lot of people ask, how do you separate yourself? I say, turn on the field and see that. Like I like to chase the ball. I like to be around the ball. Like Coach Drabe always say, you never know. Big guy running to the ball always create, good things happen, and that's fumbles or whatever it may be. So, pick up a fumble if somebody knocked the ball out. So I think with me personally, I try to separate myself by doing the other things from that I see. Like I said, I much respect to all them guys, that like Aaron Donald. He listed as the best player in the league, and quite frankly, the way he played the game and disrupt the game is different than everyone else. So, like I said, I consider myself as a different player, than Aaron Donald, of course. So, like I said, my job is to be the best version of Jeffrey Simmons for the Tennessee Titans.
What did you think attention to the contract extension that he got, though?
We all see that. It's in the media, but, like I said, when it's time for the top contract, I don't want to be a part of it. That's why I got a team around me to handle that. Like I said, the team that I have, I know that they want the best for me, and like I said, it's not in my control. That's for them to handle. I think that's why they get paid the way they do, to go talk to them guys upstairs. So, like like I said, I have a team in place to, when it's time to talk contract, they'll be ready to talk to.
Is there a reason, Jeff, that as far as we know now, do you think you'll start training camp on time? Is there any reason to think you wouldn't start training camp on time?
My goal is to be here when they tell us to report, and like I said, I see you guys at training camp. I'm been on the plan with Coach Vrabel telling me, like I said, when it's time to report, my plan is to be here.
Who's the team, Jeff?
I got a team around me. I'm sure that it'll be out soon, but I'd rather not call their name. But I would say one of the guys that been around my whole life is my uncle Jason Hatcher, and he kind of got a team around him as well that he built and that we both met with. So eventually I'm sure it'll probably be out who the team may be, especially if it is. They start to talk, but like I said, my job is to focus on football right now. I want to be in the best shape I could be to report back to camp, and that's just what I'm focused on.
Jeff, you talked about the diet, and that sometimes is the hardest part for players. Have you done anything, brought in a chef, maybe done something like KB was talking about, he did that, just to make sure that consistency stays throughout the season?
Yeah, I think with me, I think my biggest thing is just being able to, I guess, not cheat with it. You have them days where you just want to say, forget it, especially late in the season where you're like, all right, I'm feeling good at this weight. It's no sense of trying to do extra. So I think my thing is just staying strict on myself, because I think trying to stay strict or, having a diet, I wouldn't call it a diet. I call it just letting stuff go, or, if it's snacks or whatever it may be, just putting the right thing in your body, not just for football, but, your health. So I think that's my biggest thing. How can I just stay, consistent with what I put in my body?
Hey, Jeff, the plan you were talking about that you and Ray were going to not be on the field, is the main idea just to be more cautious during this part of the year?
I mean, his answer was just, I'm not available to practice, and, to be out here today, I guess, like I said, I'll be out there in camp. My goal is to be out there in camp, and we got one more day here, so, I guess when it's time to be out there for camp, my plan is to be out there, and I think that's a question for Ray. So.
As a guy who loves ball and talked about how much you love ball, how difficult is it for you? You have the plan, but you want to be out there, right? How difficult is it?
It's always difficult not being on the field, no matter if it's OTAs, mini camp, or whatever it may be. It's always great to be around your teammates. And I think, building a team, not just on the field. I think it's all about, especially relationship, with your teammates. It's in the building, in the locker room, and not just at the football facility. How can we get together? I talked to a couple guys this week. What can we do to, especially, on defense, because that's where I'm playing at. How can we get together on defense, especially the front four, to bond more? Because that's one of the things I talked to, some of the vets at Von Miller Camp. I was talking to Justin Houston. He was just telling me, man, y'all got something special. You don't want to lose that because y'all don't gel together. And that hit me because I'm like, we do have a special group, but, we're not going to gel all together just on the football field. How can we, get away from the building, join together, fellowship together outside of football? So, and I think that's, where that come in play at. I want to be on the field, true enough, but, it's not about just being on the field. And I think that's what I've been doing since I'm not on the field, bonding with them guys in the locker room and, hopefully outside of the building.
All right, there you go. Big Jeff, Jeffrey Simmons talking today to the media. We got some things to discuss on the other side on what you heard there. Also, Mike Vrabel we'll try to squeeze in before we get out of here this hour. Congratulations to Josh in Portland. Vroom, vroom. He's going to the Nashville Super Speedway Friday and Saturday nights for the Truck Series and the Xfinity race. He was lucky caller 7. We'll come back. We'll react to what you just heard from Jeffrey Simmons. Summer heat is here, as we know. Man, it's here. Is your air conditioner ready? Costs are rising everywhere. Your groceries, your gas, your utility, everything. Everything is up, right? Well, if your AC is old and inefficient, costing more than it should. Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months, no interest for a New York air conditioner, and plus you get 6 months no interest for repairs. That's a Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
If you're on the road between downtown Nashville,
They're still in good shape to make the playoffs.
and I-840,
Players make it clear they don't want to be somewhere anymore.
there's a new way to hear all your favorite shows and sports programming on 102.5 The Game.
I go back to that play and I shake my head. What I was worried about is that they were still just going to keep the goal.
It's 106.3 FM.
Think about all the good Titans teams. This is very much so a run-first offense.
Now you have two choices to hear Nashville's best sports talk. Check out 106.3 now and add it as a favorite.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here to tell you this baseball season you can swing for the fences on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So just sign up with promo code ROB to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, and so much more. Plus, you could combine your bets for an even bigger payday with a same-game parlay. I like Shohei Ohtani over on strikeouts. I like Mookie Betts on home runs. He's hitting the ball really well so far this year, but you take it any way you want to take it. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Just join with promo code ROB and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
This is Chef John from Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville. Inviting you to come join us for breakfast and lunch. We are offering some exciting new menu items. For breakfast, we have a smoked prime rib hash. Comes with a sunny side up egg, hominy, caramelized onions. It's a great start to your day. We are featuring a sourdough pancake made with a sourdough bread starter. It's a fun spin on the classic buttermilk pancake. As always, Kitchen Notes is serving biscuits all day. Come join us and create a memorable experience here at the Omni Hotel. Food is all about memories for us. We'd like you to start a new memory here at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Hotel.
Breakfast at Kitchen Notes in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV? WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in just 3 easy steps. 1. Get your free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with your check in as little as 30 minutes. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Robbie and Rex Road here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Stoney Company is delivered.
There's a new way to hear 102.5 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators.
Scores!
Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
Hey Nashville, this is Mookie Betts. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Jared Stillman walking to the dunk tank.
Uh-huh.
And he does not feel like Rocky. He looked a little deflated, a little bit nervous. I'm going to be honest.
I think he was.
He was kind of over here talking with us and like kind of seemed scared.
A little nervous.
Right?
I felt a crack in his voice.
I heard a crack in his voice.
Yeah, I heard it.
He's like,
he got that high-pitched voice.
like,
Yeah.
I should have been nicer.
I want that many people to show up.
They seem angry out there. Then he's going to go out there and he's like, but in here he was like, out there he's like, you can't do it. You can bring it on. In here he's like,
hey, it's Jared for you.
Hey, do you know why we played the Rockies?
Yeah. He was in here kind of sucking his thumb, and he'll go out there and rip his shirt off and challenge everybody. But in here, he was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Kind of nervous.
He shrunk a little bit in here.
He's out in the open.
Yeah.
He's out in the open. He's there for
He
the
shrunk
taking.
3% in here.
Did you guys catch the significance of the Rocky song that I sent you? The Gonna Fly Now. Do you know why we're playing that?
No.
Is there a Rocky 10 coming out?
Rocky 2 came out on this date in 1979. Rocky 2.
79.
Okay.
I remember seeing it in the theater. I saw it in the theater.
Okay, well,
4th of July. It was great stuff.
we got to get to Jeffrey Simmons because D-Mace is like coming unglued. So
very interesting.
Your body language,
Yeah.
you did not love what you heard there.
Because, I mean, he immediately, and I mean immediately, dug him. It was like he just got like a big, what do they call it, a backhoe, just dug up all the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately dug like a 20-foot ditch and then jumped in. Immediately. And then put water in it and couldn't climb out of it.
So he created his own dunk tank.
Exactly. I'm listening, and I'm like, dude, what are you saying? You're contradicting yourself with, now you put it all on Vrabel now. Because Vrabel said he has a plan for you. Out of all the healthy people on that team, and granted, I've always said this, behind Derrick Henry, Jeffrey Simmons is the guy.
Yep.
But out of all the people, all the healthy people, he picked you out to say, hey, listen, Big Jeff, you ain't got to go. I got a plan for you, buddy. I ain't going to tell you what the plan is yet, but I got a plan for you. Just sit out. It has nothing to do with your contract. So you are expecting us, here on 102.5, 106.3, to believe that Vrabel just has a plan for you and that you don't have to practice when you're healthy. After Vrabel was so upset that so many other people didn't come to the, voluntary camp. Big Jeff, I love you. You are the most important person on that defense because when you go, it makes everybody else's job a lot easier.
There's a butt coming.
But, man, I ain't buying that. You ain't pouring Mountain Dew on me and tell me it's raining, buddy. You're not doing it.
I agree
This
with
is
you.
contract.
There was a lot of – he
This
had a
is
hard
contract.
time. I think he had a hard time just saying what is going on, and it was confusing. I agree. This is what I interpreted. You guys tell me if you think you guys agree or I'm way off base. I interpret that as somebody from his team, as he kept referring to, and you heard Paul Kaharski say, "Who's the team?
Who is this team?
That was, who's the team?" In Paul's way.
Who ordered the cold red?
He said his uncle.
My uncle.
He said his uncle's part of the team.
My uncle did.
So his team, I feel like, went to John Robinson and said, look, I think you guys want to sign Jeffrey to a new contract. Jeffrey wants to be here long term. So we think it's best that he doesn't play in this OTA. And somewhere along the line, they came to an agreement on that, okay, we want Jeffrey here. Here's what Jeffrey can do. Is it okay? Like, I feel like there was a meeting that way, but they didn't want to risk any kind of physical issue on the field, and they came to an agreement. And I think he was having a hard time saying that. That's my theory. You guys tell me if you think I'm right.
I mean, Willie, at this point, I think anything
could be right,
I was
Willie.
going to say anything we throw out there
Yeah.
could be right. I don't know what to make of that. It was – what was Adam's word again yesterday?
Secondhand embarrassment.
Secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
There was a lot of secondhand embarrassment listening to that. It was a little bit awkward. It was a little bit cringeworthy. And D-Max, I'll say the same thing as you. Love Big Jeff. We praise Big Jeff. He is a big part of what they do. He's been awesome when he comes on the show, but I'm not sure what we just heard there. Because, by the way, who's the team? That's another thing.
Right.
He has created this. I've got a team. Well, who is it?
Yeah, because
I'm
he
not
doesn't
ready
have
to
an agent.
divulge that.
He does not have an agent per se. So he has a team. His uncle is part of, I guess, an inner circle of advisors is how I interpret that, because he does not have an agent at this point. So I feel like there was just some conversations of maybe a compromise on how to go about this mandatory minicamp. It's clear that Jeffrey loves his teammates. He loves being out there, but he's been advised, I think, that, hey, you don't want to go out there and just risk anything that is going to devalue you at all. But I think the mistake he made was trying to say it wasn't about the contract, because it is related to the future contract, even though he's under contract. He says he's going to be there for training camp, and I think they would like to get some discussions going on just nailing this down. Look, both parties want this to get done.
Willie, be careful. He said he would be there. He didn't say he would participate.
Yes.
He said I would be there.
Yes.
He's there at the mandatory camp, but he participated.
He hedged.
Exactly. I will say this. If I'm John Robinson, I will be very nervous. Just the experiences over the years, look, this is just my 2 cents. I think it is bad advice and a bad road to go down to have your family members running the business side. A group of family or friends. Hey, Vince Young did that. Others we've seen it do, and I just think it's a bad idea, especially if we're talking about a massive contract. We're talking about a guy that is Aaron Donald light to this point in his career. And you want your family members, an uncle, or this group that your uncle has put together. I don't know. You're not going to get trained professionals to hash out a contract with John Robinson?
Now, if you have someone within that group that has experience in dealing with contracts,
then why would you hide that? Like, why would you just say it?
Like, hey, listen, this is the one person we do have that has experience.
Going to probably be right. He's been there. He's done it. Here's this whole, I'm not ready to let you know about my team.
Why are you keeping it secret from everybody?
Is it Uncle Robbie and your first cousin, Johnny? And, hey, once they negotiated a new cable bill, they called up the cable company and got the rates down. They know how to negotiate.
Well, is it possible, though, that there's some big-time agents? I would imagine he's getting phone calls from a lot of big-time agents saying, hey, look, I'm your man. You got this big contract. Like you were saying, Darren, I will guarantee you that there's a lot of agents calling him saying, look, I'll help you out. I'm the guy for this job. This is a big, big thing in your life. You have a chance to do something that very few players have. You've got a ton of leverage. Let me help you with this. I guarantee you with one phone call, he could have his choice of a ton of the big agents if he wanted to. I'm not sure his reasoning at this point.
Look, and you're right.
Look, if they wanted to negotiate a rookie contract, fine. Rookie contracts, especially today, it's all kind of cookie cutter. It's all set. There's not a whole lot of negotiating and haggling. I know it's more about, as we've learned, language, right, for a rookie contract. But, dude, this is a massive deal. This is a life-changing deal for you. My advice to you will get somebody who's got a lot of experience. Now, I don't know. Maybe he's got that. Maybe that's what. But I don't know why you would be, so hesitant to talk about it. I mean, what's the big deal? If you have an agent, why wouldn't you just divulge? I mean, what is the big deal? Or, guys, I've got a very experienced agent. It's cool. We're not ready to divulge who it is. But we're all good behind the scenes, okay? He's handling the business. I've got some family members that are kind of helping with all. I got a group, and they know the plan. They know what's going on. But this whole, I don't know. There was a lot of cringeworthy moments in that press conference.
It was weird. And again, I understand why he probably doesn't want to get a big agent, and we could discuss it on the other side because we got to go to break. go to break. But I'll discuss that on why I believe he doesn't want a big-time aid.
Okay, and we'll get to Leo as well before we close up shop. Here on the third hour, DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game, 106.3 in The Game, Nashville app.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Heat index values in the triple digits, and they're going to stay here for the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Tough jobs need tough equipment. For equipment that gets the job done right, elite certified service, and genuine Kubota parts, choose Coleman Tractor Company, Tennessee's largest full-line Kubota dealer. Get hay season done right with the Kubota M7 tractor. User-friendly controls, all-day comfort, powerful versatility. Lease the Kubota M7 for as low as $13,200 annually, now through June 13th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information. Visit Coleman Tractor Company, your local Kubota dealer in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House today.
We're in the most active season of the year right now, but if you've got joint pain, you may be on the sidelines. Hips, knees, back pain, shoulder pain. It sucks the fun out of living, but I've got the solution. QC Kinetics, helping people here in our listening area get the fun back. It's regenerative medicine. It's the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with the healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your aching joints. This is exciting. It's in the office. It's non-surgical. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics and learn more about regenerative medicine and get a free in-office consultation now. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics. Repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints and get the long-lasting relief from pain.
Curation CBD is a local family-owned business started and grown right here in Middle Tennessee. Curation's mission is to provide the community with locally and organically sourced CBD products for everyday use. Curation means healing, and their CBD products will do just that. Are you experiencing aches and pains as you age? Curation CBD products can help reduce pain and inflammation. Having trouble sleeping? Curation can help. Are you a pet owner looking for anxiety relief for your best friend? Curation has pet products too. Visit them online and order now on their website at curationcompany.com. Curation, CBD products curated for life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
You can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. we'll have a 4-pack of tickets to Monster Jam at Nissan Stadium. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. 10 days from now. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. So we'll give those away before we get out of here today at 2 o'clock. We're here live at Ford Ice Center in Antioch. We're celebrating 615 Day, and we're trying to raise some money for the Boys and Girls Club of Tennessee as they just left to go outside. Maybe it was to dunk Jared. I'm not sure. Not sure.
Hope so.
Could be, because he has already had the walk of shame to the tank. Let's go to Leo, who's on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Hey, listen, as you listen to that interview with Simmons again, he didn't say he would be there for training camp. He said it was his plan. And I get it. We're pulling apart word by word. But when you say you plan on being there, that sort of leaves wiggle room in there. I mean, you know, what you'd like to hear him say is, hey, it's season. I'll be ready. I'll be happy to be there. You know, that's not kind of the way that came out to me. It kind of left room for doubt. And I agree with you, Darren. The whole thing was cringeworthy. That's exactly the right choice of words, in my opinion. I hate it because it sounds like his team is amateur hour. And they may not be, but that's the general feeling you got by listening to him, you know, talking vague and mystic ways about his team. I agree. You know, give me somebody's name that has some level of experience and familiarity. I mean, for the amount of money he's about to hammer out for this next contract, you'd like to think there's some experienced people, not just for the team's sake, but also for his sake, to get him the best deal. Because when you're dealing with amateur hour, sometimes that's not the way it turns out. So I'll get off and listen to your call. Hey, I have one thing to include on here. You know, I'm on board with Team Philly, but, you know, when Berman used to do baseball nicknames, hopefully you guys are old enough to remember that, I was always a fan of the Berman nickname, and I sort of like Willie, Gin, and Donick. So I'm going to leave you on that one.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. That was mine. We used to do the Chris Berman nicknames all the time for our teams, and that was mine. Willie, Gin, and Donick.
Yeah, but
by the way, I heard the best. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I'll leave that out of it. Their fantasy baseball name. I just need to make sure I say it right, okay?
Yes,
so just bear with me. This is their fantasy baseball team name. I've never heard this before, and
you probably would never hear it
just about peed my pants. Joe Buck yourself. Like I said, I needed to say it slowly. Joe Buck yourself.
Yeah. In theory, that could be
you probably never hear that one again.
That could be a Chris Berman
type
nickname. That's sort of a Chris Berman nickname.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have to always be careful, right?
Yeah, you got to say it slow.
You got to say it slow. You got to slow it down.
Yeah. Well, you got to emphasize Buck. You can say everything else fast, but you got to say Buck.
It's no Burt B. Home 11, but, you know.
I'm sorry. I know he doesn't want to make this a big deal. It is a big deal. And if we're going to sit here and praise Jeffrey Simmons on how much he means to this team, and maybe that next guy, Aaron Donald, you know, is not getting any younger. And if he's going to be the next guy, because Big Jeff's in the prime. I mean, he is in the meat of it. He's still got more room to grow.
I don't even think
he's reached right. He has not reached the peak. We're talking big-time difference maker. Look, that's a pick that has worked. But we're talking about a difference maker deal, too. And I got to be honest, to Leo's point, this is the other part I wanted to bring up. I don't think GMs exactly look forward to dealing with people that don't have experience in the field.
Yeah.
Because it makes it very difficult. If you're dealing with experienced agents, they know the lay of the land. They know how this works. They know the dance.
Exactly.
They know the back and forth. They understand it. People who are just friends or close, family members that are close to the client, they're just out there like, hey, this is my guy, and you should pay him $150 million. And the team is like, no. Yeah, he is our guy too. We love him. But no, that's not true. And they don't understand the dance. They don't understand how it works. And look, it's not always for the faint of heart. And people that are experienced, they go to their clients like, hey, look, don't get all upset. Look, this is all part of it. Well, people who aren't experienced don't understand. They're like, Jeff, man, they don't even like you, man. They said this, and this. They don't even like you. It's like they don't even want you around. And he gets mad, and it's like, no, that's not what they're saying. This is how it works.
It's a negotiation.
It's a negotiation.
Let me ask you this.
Their job
Derek,
is to save the team money, and your job is to make the most money. And so you got to meet somewhere in between. I don't know. I hope he's not going down that road, but listening to that presser today, it kind of feels like that's the road he's going down.
Derek, how much do you pay a top-level agent? Because if the thinking is, look, if I keep it in the family – and I want to set up my family for life.
3?
This is what I would do to save money and keep it in the family. And I can take. He's got a tight-knit family from a small town in Mississippi. I'm just wondering what reason you would have to not have an agent. Obviously, maybe you get to keep more of your money. So what percentage are we talking here?
Well, I think typically
3?
it's 3%. Now you can negotiate, maybe a little bit lower, but. It's standard. At least when, I was playing, it was standard 3% that the 3% fee that the agent would take. And you would kind of go from there. This is what I think is happening with Jeffrey. If you look at his contract, his player's contract, he's going to be 30. Let's just say in between, if he continues to play the way he has been playing and even better, then he's in between that $29 and $32 million per year. Aaron Donald just got $30 million per year. They extended the contract, pushed some money out. Overall, $30 million per year. Aaron Donald deserves that, because beside the quarterback, he's the most important player on his team. So
always has been.
And always has been. It's not like it just happened 3 years ago.
And everybody agrees.
Exactly. Everybody understands that without Aaron Donald, that team on defense changed significantly, which changes their offense. His family or his team, whoever they are, they're looking at it. They went to him and said, listen, here's the deal. This is what you're going to get. From an agent going to charge you 3%, and he's only going to get you in between $29 and $32 million. That's what he's going to get you, okay? Why don't I, as your uncle, I played in the league, I've been through contracts, why don't I put together a team of someone that's experienced in working contracts, someone that's experienced in doing, media stuff or endorsements, and someone that can be a chef, a team of people that I can put together, and this is how much we're going to pay this team, and this is how much it saves you. Because it's not like, he's working from this price range of 15. You can get him anywhere from $15 to $30 million. No, everybody understands that Jeffrey is going to be one of the highest, top 2 or 3 highest paid defensive players in the National Football League when he gets his contract. So just like a rookie, they feel the money is already slotted. It's there. So why do we need to pay somebody 3% when we already know what we're going to get? We just need someone that we pay a flat fee to, that can look at the contract, that understands contracts, that know contracts, that can look at the contract and say, okay, the wording, verbiage, everything is right, and you're good to go with this contract. Because we know what you're supposed to make. Because we believe in our heart, just like many other people in the league believe, that behind Aaron Donald, it's you. So the Titans don't have a lot of leeway in, what they can pay you. They know they got to pay you over $30 million, basically. So, again, why do we have to pay somebody 3% every year of a check that you're getting? No, let's pay a guy a flat fee to look at the contract that understands sports contracts. Let him look at it, say either it's okay or it's not, or we need to change some wording here or something here. We pay him or her a flat fee. And then they're out of our pockets until we have to redo another deal. That I don't mind. I wish a lot of other players would take that road too, but I don't mind that. So it's just he's been secretive about who this team, because I don't even think he really knows who the whole team is.
I think he's got to. I just don't think he's ready to divulge it. All right, that'll do it for hour number 3. When we come back, should have Eddie George on site here from the Fordyce Center in Antioch to begin the final hour. That's next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Hey, Willie Donick here. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? Those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month, and inflation is making everything else more expensive. Your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget. If your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. So call Loan Pronto now and unlock that equity and wipe out the bad debt. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Interest rates may be rising elsewhere, but not at Genesis Diamond. Now through June 18th, you can get 0 interest for 5 whole years. That's right. Buy now, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years without a dime in interest. Only Genesis can make an offer like this on rings, earrings, pendants, bands, designer jewelry, even GIA certified diamonds. There's just one catch. This is a limited time offer and it ends June 18th. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs on approved credit.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
The leading receiver.
Awesome game 7.
Checker flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Informative conversation while you work. This is the DDC. Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
I'm all right, man. How about you?
Fourth and final hour here on the DDC. We got the man has arrived. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here at the Fordyce Center in Antioch. 615 Day. We're celebrating to raise good money for the Boys and Girls Club of Tennessee. Eddie George, head coach, Tennessee State. Still not used to saying that. Still not used to that. Good to see you. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. It's hot out here, though.
Well, I was going to say, that's literally where I was going. Does this feel like a 2-a-day training camp?
Close, yeah. It was hot when we was in training camp here, no question about it.
Were you at the one in Clarksville at Austin Peay?
Nah, I wasn't at that
was
one.
okay. So that was right after I think you left. That was probably the hottest training camp I ever
Really?
remember. It was every day. I think it was 110.
But you know what? I like it like this.
Really?
I mean, yeah. This is where you form the team. This is where you find out who wants to be out there. The men from the boys. You know, you get. When you mold iron, it takes pressure and heat. So that's what we're trying to mold this team. So with pressure and heat.
So basically, what you're saying is, you look over at me and you're like, "Nope, he ain't gonna cut it." Look over at teammates, like, "Yeah, that's my guy."
I will say this: our boys are working hard. And I mean, when you think about training camp, you think about those experiences, you think about how hot it was, how hard it was. You have those stories. So I don't want to disappoint them from that. So for me, the hotter the better. I love it. I love it.
We were talking about this with Predators head coach John Hines earlier, and I think it was more off the air. But you have to treat things different. Like when you and D-Mace played, I know a lot of people out there, younger people, are like, 2 days. Why do they keep saying 2 days? What even is that? Today, everything is back down. You guys did pads. Like, they barely are in pads today. The travel is different. You know, in hockey, they stay over, and then they come back home, where before your game is over, you get to the airport, and you come home, you fly overnight, and then you basically waste the whole next day. They're like, no, get a good night's sleep. Let's come back the next day.
It's not like that for us.
Well, I know that.
But we right out. We out the same day.
But you do have to treat today's athlete different, right, than when you guys played, or no?
I mean, listen, I don't know any other way. I mean, how I was trained, how I was coached is what I'm giving them. There's discipline. I have, I'm mindful of recovery, in terms of getting them, make sure they're getting their rest, ice tubs, massages, all those things. But when it's time to work, it's time to work. Those disciplines still apply. Nothing changes. It's still football. It's just framed differently. I mean, we don't have the 2-a-day practices or 3-a-days like me and Derek had in college, where you went from morning, an afternoon session, and night. I mean, that's when you was really banging. But now it's different. So it might be a walkthrough in the morning, and then you still have to work at night. But you have to coach toughness. Football is still about toughness, being mentally and physically tough and spiritually tough. And the only way to do that is that you have to take them through something so difficult and strainful during practice that you look forward to Saturdays or Sundays.
How do you handle kids? Because not everybody can handle it. So how do you now as a coach, and maybe it's different than when you were a teammate, how do you handle a kid that's having a real tough go of it?
It might not be for him.
Okay.
I mean, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I listen, I'm not one of those coaches that say, hey, if you can't do X, Y, and Z, get out. I'm going to help you through that. I'm going to coach you through it. If you just give me what you got. If you give me your best effort every day, it don't have to come in first place every day, but if you're giving me your best effort, your best self every day, that's all I ask. That's all I demand. And it's not about, winning every race or being the strongest or fastest or push them beyond their limitations, but we've got to be able to stretch them beyond their comfort zone in order for them to be comfortable being comfortable. Being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
So when it's the fourth quarter and it's 2 minutes to go and you have sore ribs or you got blisters on your feet, your mind and your spirit will override that because you've been trained in those circumstances that you're comfortable being in that situation. So it applies to life. When you step when you step away from the game of football, you're going to be in uncomfortable situations in business, in your marriage, in your personal life, with your family. It doesn't matter. And you reach back on those times when, you'll say, am I built for this? You're going to have the fortitude to see it through. So it's all encompassing now.
What is it going to take for Nick Saban's been mad at everybody. What is it going to take for him to get mad at you, Eddie? Because he didn't include you on his rant.
He didn't. I mean, damn, Nick's got 1,000 championships. I mean, he's trying to find motivation for this year. Let's face it. I mean, what else? You gotta find something to keep the edge going. And I think did you play for Nick at all?
Yeah, I played for him for 2 years.
For 2 years. So you understand his pedigree. You understand what he's about. He's a phenomenal coach. He gets the best out of his players. He preaches toughness and all of that. So I figure he'll find something to get mad at me about. We'll see.
Just take a number one player.
Right.
We're talking with Eddie George, Tennessee State head football coach. Now, Eddie, do you enjoy the popularity or the attention that the HBCUs are getting? Yourself, Deion Sanders, Hugh Jackson now at Grambling. Saw, Deion, they're on the front of Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
So, and I know it's Deion and his players, but it's bringing attention to the HBCU in general.
No question. It's definitely brought a light attention to the platform of HBCUs, and that's another viable option for kids to seek a career, both on and off the football field, get a quality education, have an amazing campus life, and still have an opportunity to play at the next level. It's been done before. We've had 121 athletes that's come through Tennessee State that's played in the NFL. Here's a fun fact. Over the last 10 years, Tennessee State has produced more NFL linemen than University of Tennessee.
Wow.
So it goes to show you it doesn't matter where you are. If you have the talent, you'll get there. Now, what we have to do is get better facilities, get a better way of doing business, constantly make it sustainable. Because the problem is, and what my fear is that this is just a blip on the radar. How do we make it sustainable? How do we stay in the conversation? How do we still have a seat at the table? If Deion leaves next year, then what was it all for? You know what I'm saying? So we got to continue to push the envelope to say, hey, this is just not a platform just to get to the next level for me personally, but to leave it better for the long term. So when my day is done here at Tennessee State, that I hand the torch off to somebody where they can take it to another level. We're not regressing and going backwards, but we're moving forward in it.
Now, what are some things you are excited about your team this upcoming season? Now, last year was your first season. You went through the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You guys went on a little run there.
Yeah.
But what are you excited about with this team? Because, as you know, each year there's a different team.
Yes, yep.
So what are you excited about this team?
I'm excited the fact that, Derek, we had an off-season program. Okay.
It's been a while.
So when I got here a year ago, and all we had was just the summer. We had 8 weeks to get the coaches in, to get them onboarded, to install our offense and defensive philosophies, X's and O's, and then we had to go play a season. And that was tough to do. We didn't have a spring. We didn't have a winter. We didn't have a chance to evaluate the roster. So this offseason, from the winter till now, we had a chance to evaluate the roster, figure out who's going to be here, who's not, tweak the roster, bring in the guys that we felt like can help this program, and now we are getting ready for the season. So having that full year, even with the coaching changes on my staff, I had to, some guys left, seeking other opportunities, and that's great. So we got better in that regard. So last year for me was all about understanding the landscape, understanding what I'm getting into, understanding the schedule, understanding what it means to be a head coach. 365 daily basis, the recruiting, our pipelines, all of that. Now it's time to be understood, in terms of what I want to do, how I want to put my thumbprint on it, how I want to change things up, how I want to be more efficient, how I want our kids to be more impactful in the community. Given our 4 pillars: spirituality, social, physical, and mental. How are we engaging and helping them in that regard? So to me, that's a lot of fun, seeing kids buy in and the culture change. And I look forward to coming to practice every day because I can bring that same energy like I did while I was playing, but I don't have to take the hits. I don't have to, I can talk as much trash as I want to, knowing I don't have to back it up as much.
Now, before I pass it to Willie, because I think Willie's not. Well, I guess he's not.
He's listening.
Yeah, he's
listening.
listening now. He's in the cornfield.
Cornfields of Iowa.
Yeah,
that's where he is. Cornfields.
Yeah. Well, his son. They're playing in
Field of
baseball.
Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
So his
awesome.
son's playing in a tournament. But how important is it for you as a coach when you go in to have to replace those other coaches that left? I mentioned one, Hugh, and I know you had a few more that left.
Offensive line coach, Coach Harkey, our tight ends coach. He went to the NFL with the Buffalo Bills. It's awesome because, as I'm understanding, coaching is not just about coaching the players, but also coaching the coaches. But this is a unique situation because I've never coached, so what am I coaching them on? So I'm learning from them, growing from them. So every iteration that the coach leaves, I now can find to say, okay, this is what I need for this room, this type of personality, this type of teacher, this type of man of integrity. You see what I'm saying? So, if the opportunity opens up next year, I'm calling on this man right here. He's laughing at it. Hey, no one better.
Listen, I ran into Joe B the other day.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, whatever, I'm there. Just let me know. Whatever.
Yeah, Derek would be an amazing coach because he understands the process of what it takes to be great. I've watched this man come in, 7th round pick, right?
Fourth.
She's
no, man, you gave me 7th, man. No. I'll take 7th if I play in 15 years.
Fourth round pick. Made his way on special teams to become an all-time great receiver for the Tennessee Titans. The all-time greatest receiver, in my opinion, for our organization. And I've watched him grow and work and grind. So he brings wisdom, a process, an understanding that these young men could use for their lives. And he understands that from the ground up. So, I'm always looking not just for great talent on the football field, but also great mentors, great teachers that I can help and also give them a platform to go on to be head coaches themselves one day. So that coaching tree, now that I'm in it, I get it now. I understand it's important that you help everybody achieve their dreams and goals and aspirations.
Last thing, how do you find dog and kid? Like you had it, D-Mace had it, Steve had it. I mean, how do you find those kids? Because talent is one thing, but you also got to have that little oomph in you, right? It's probably in your DNA. It's how you're wired, I guess. I don't know if you can coach that.
All right, what you do is,
how do you find it?
You get a couple bags, right? You create a boundary, 2 bags. You have a kid lay on his back with a ball in his hand. On one end, you have another kid lay on the back with no ball on the other end. You blow a whistle, they both get up, and you meet. And that's called the threshing floor, where you separate the men, the basketball players from the football players. That's where you find the dog. It's real simple. You find out right there in those type of drills. You find out in a 9-on-7. You find out in a 1-on-1, DBs versus wide receivers. I mean, that's where you find it.
You find it in this heat.
In this heat.
Yeah.
When you're grinding, you're working. You're going to find out during the dog days of summer. So that's where you find out. Recruiting-wise, you don't find out in conversation.
You don't really, you can't really tell.
You can, but you can't.
Really?
But
okay.
Not until you're put in adverse situations that you're going to find out who you are. And that's where you find out who the dog is. I mean, recruiting is 50-50.
Yeah.
It's you never know. You see a guy that has all the height, the weight, the speed, the this, the that, but you put him in this heat and you ask him to go for another round, after being hit 50 times, how's he going to respond? You never know until you're in those situations.
Yeah. In the living room, he's Tarzan.
Oh,
Out on the field, he may be Jane.
Right.
You just don't know till you have.
We know some strong Janes, so you got to be politically correct. You got to be politically correct in this down there. I want you to get in trouble now. There's some strong women out there that put Tarzan down.
There's a couple that can back you up. Hit you with the elbow and then go in.
No question.
Eddie, good to see you. Thanks for coming out.
You kicking me off now?
Whoa, I mean,
okay.
I mean, we can go for it. Hey, it's up to you.
What else do I have, Nick? Do I have anything else? Okay, I guess we're good.
Is he good on time? All right, let's step away and pay D Mace's salary. We'll come right back.
Let's
More with Eddie George on the other side here on the DDC. ESPN 102.5, The Game 106.3, and The Game Nashville app.
Robbie and Rex Road here on ESPN.
Welcome into the DDC.
Stomach Company is delivered. There's a new way to hear 102.5 The Game. Nashville's best sports talk on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24. You now have two choices to hear our great sports programming.
Get the extra point, no problem.
And the Nashville Predators. Scores! Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
We're in the most active season of the year right now, but if you've got joint pain, you may be on the sidelines. Hips, knees, back pain, shoulder pain. It sucks the fun out of living, but I've got the solution. QC Kinetics, helping people here in our listening area get the fun back. It's regenerative medicine. It's the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with the healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your aching joints. This is exciting. It's in the office. It's non-surgical. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics and learn more about regenerative medicine and get a free in-office consultation now. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics. Repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints and get the long-lasting relief from pain.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Summer heat is here. How is your air conditioner holding up? Costs are rising everywhere. Grocery bills, gas bills, utility bills, you name it, up, up, up. Is your AC old, inefficient, costing more than it should? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months. No interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. A York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way, I'm watching a game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Oh, man, I want good love.
Back here on the DDC on this beautiful, hot Wednesday. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason here at Fordyce Center in Antioch. Eddie George taking pictures with the kids. Boys and Girls Club, Tennessee, raising money for a great cause. They've been out here all day having a blast. Willie Donica's in the cornfields in Iowa, the Field of Dreams. In fact, Willie, since Eddie was kind enough to hang over for another segment, why don't you fire a question or two at him?
All right, yeah, Eddie. Greetings from where they say "Go the distance," right? The Field of Dreams. Have you seen Field of Dreams?
I have. I love that movie.
Well, nothing has changed. If you ever get it live, it looks exactly the same. It is really amazing.
Did they all come? Are they all there?
People have come. People have come. I came. A lot of the parents came. Yeah,
nice.
It's really cool. It's really cool. So Eddie, I just in sitting back and listening to you talk about coaching, I think we all know you well enough. We knew you were going to love that part of it. I mean, you have such enthusiasm talking about, motivating your guys and finding the right guys for you. I'm curious, after a year of it, right, there's so much more that goes into coaching besides the fun part of being on the field with your guys. What do you think of that part of it after a year? Is it worth it, the balance and with the good part with all of the things that go into managing a program?
Listen, it's a grind. I mean, there's no question about it. Like, away from the field, the fundraising efforts, the trying to move the needle with facilities and get people interested, all of the business side, it's daunting, it's overwhelming, and it can take a lot of your energy. But when I think about my purpose and I think about the mission statement that I have on my desk, is I'm serving the young men and women on that floor, and I'm serving those young boys, and I treat them as if they're my own sons. And when I see them grow, when I'm seeing them grow before my very eyes, that's all that's there. It overrides everything else in terms of all the BS, all the stuff that doesn't work, and you can find anything to complain about there. But when I see them get it and them grow from it and learn from it and we overcome it, it's gratifying. It really, truly is. So that's what I enjoy. I'm seeing guys physically transform, but also transform mentally and emotionally into men, and being held to a high standard and seeing them buy into the culture. A year ago, we're telling kids, hey, you run to every drill. You run on and off the football field. Now they're saying it to the young freshmen that have come in and to the grad students. This is how we do things. I don't have to say it anymore. And that's happened, in over a year. So that to me is more fulfilling than anything else. It supersedes all the frustrations that you deal with from an administrative standpoint.
Tennessee State and a lot of schools in that league, at that level, it's been a landing spot for transfers going way, way back before this madness of the transfer portal that we see now. How do you see it working to Tennessee State's advantage going forward here? Now that so many kids go into that portal, and I think they probably go in with one line of thinking, and then they get there and they're not exactly sure what is going to happen here. But I would imagine there's some of the right guys that end up coming your way.
Well, for us personally, everybody's different. There are certain criteria that you have to have in terms of being able to get guys in and so forth. There's an APR number that we have to be conscious of. There's so much that you have to be aware of when you're bringing guys in. So we've had to pick right. We just couldn't get rid of half of our roster and bring in new kids. We have to do our due diligence on them. We got to, look at why they're in the portal. They're in the portal for a reason, either for an opportunity, or they're running away from competition, or they didn't cut it somewhere else. I mean, they're in there for a reason. So we've looked at it as if, what are they the ingredient that we're looking for our program? Do they fit that? Can they run? Can they bend? Are they of did they make a mistake? Let's look into that mistake, and see if this is an opportunity for them to redeem themselves and so forth, because I think guys deserve a second chance. And in this navigating that recruiting world, we've had to really be thoughtful about who we're bringing in and pick out pieces, not just look at the portal and say, okay, he came from West Virginia or he came from UT, so let's get this kid. No, last year, 2 of our best players came from Division II schools. And they were all conference for us last year. They come in a little shorter, maybe a step slower, but the tenacity that you're looking for and their hunger, that's what you're looking for. So I think every day that we're in there, we're learning as a staff. I'm learning as a head coach to say, okay, we may need to think about how we recruit in the portal a little bit differently. It's much like free agency. If you have a need for a player right now that's going to be a day one starter, then we'll look for that. And we'll look for depth. But for the most part, I'm in the business of developing talent. And the portal, I don't believe in just building a team through portal. I believe in building a team through development. And that's what we're on the pace of doing at this point in time.
It was well documented, kind of Derrick Henry, his turnaround and the conversation that you had. You were a guy, and D-May certainly knows this, and Willie knows it as well. I mean, the carries that you got, the pounding that you took, and the numbers that you put up, the season when you had to deal with turf toe.
Yeah.
And you kept playing, but you're playing through it, and you went through that. Derrick Henry has now experienced his first Jones fracture, first big injury.
Yeah.
And now everybody's got the questions of, is he going to be the same? I mean, you got asked all this stuff. Is Eddie going to be the same?
Yeah.
Eddie, how do you think he's going to handle that, and what would you say to him if he was going?
Hey,
why is everybody asking these questions?
Well, I mean, that's just part of the business. I mean, that's the nature of it. Personally, I don't think Derrick got enough credit for being a 2,000-yard rusher the year that he did it. I mean, he was having a heck of a year last year. He was going to obliterate Eric Dickerson's record at some point in time prior to that. But that's the nature of the business. It's always, what have you done for me lately? And I think he's going about it the right way. He's keeping a low profile, going about his work like he's always done. And you got to understand this about Derrick, is that he's still relatively a young running back in terms of carries. His first 2 years, he was light time.
Yeah.
Then he had a 1,000-yard season, 1,500-yard season, a 2,000-yard season, and 900 last year. So that's 4 years. I played, 8 years without missing a game.
Yeah.
And so there's more tread on the tire. That's my point. And age-wise, I wouldn't look at that. You have to look at the number of carries that he's amassed. And then you can begin to say, where's the wear and tear? Because it all happens at some point in time. But I believe that based off of the technology, the way he takes care of his body, the way that you train and recover nowadays is different. And the fact that they brought in another running back from Michigan, Hassan Haskins, is going to help him tremendously. It allows him where he doesn't have to get the brunt of the load in the first half of the season. Allow him to get healthy, get his sea legs under him, build the team around him, and then get him ready for the playoffs. And I think he'll be just fine. I mean, 1,000-yard, another 1,500-yard season, it negates all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, all the running backs have gone through it. I have Jerome Bettis, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, Earl Campbell. We've all had to, at some point in time, deal with the fact that, hey, people are going to question your durability. You just got to see it through and continue to do what you've been doing for the last few years.
Have you gotten used to the way now that a head coach has to use social media? Because years ago, head coaches didn't have to worry about that.
Right.
Well, head coaches didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
But now, because these kids are communicating on social media, their parents, videos and everything else, a head coach or a position coach has to be more forward thinking and have to be more active in social media.
That's something I'm still learning, Derek. I'm not a big post guy, like taking selfies in the mirror and my shirt off. I mean, that's maybe when I was like 27, but I'm approaching 50 now, so it's a little different. I am open to being more active on social media. Most kids I reach out to, I've done through social media, just showing like the type of culture, the type of personality that I am as a head coach. I think that's important. I'm mindful to put out a positive message every single day, in my story. That's what I believe in. That's me. If it's something personal, I'll post it. If it's something dealing with TSU related, I'll post that. So I'm always looking for ways to engage the younger audience in that, because it's very important for them. They want the follows, they want the likes, they want the offers and all of that. But I am mindful of that.
I'm proud of you for saying Michigan. You could have said Hassan Haskins and just left it at that, but you said Michigan. I was proud of you.
You know what? I mean, when you've beaten up on a team for so long, some people don't know they're by that team up north. So I have to let people know, well, who's that team up north? They don't know them as team up north. They've been irrelevant until last year. So Derek understands that.
Hey, man.
Y'all switch roles.
Yeah.
They're now your little brother, right?
Hey, we got past that name of being the little brother. So now they're the little brother.
They're the little brother. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I get it.
So Derek understands it.
Good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Good seeing you guys, man. Always a pleasure. Keep up the good work, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
The great
definitely.
Eddie George. Appreciate him stopping by. We will step aside, come back. More coverage here from Fordyce Center in Antioch next.
Tonight.
Stay in close. Let it fly. McKinnon moving in. He scores.
It's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final between the two-time defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. Coverage begins at 6:30
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
The NBA Finals nearing the end, folks, so don't miss out on your chance to score big on FanDuel Sportsbook. Joe Rexford here to let you know that throughout the NBA Finals, 3-2 Warriors going to Boston Thursday. FanDuel is giving new customers $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. You bet the money line, you can go point spread, player props, you can combine whatever you want for a same-game parlay, try to get a bigger payday. I understand I've been telling you Steph is the way to go. I understand he went 0 for 9 last game. I'd go right back to Steph if I were you. I think I'd go to Jason Tatum also if I were you. I'm sticking with Kevon Looney rebounds, but you know what? What about Andrew Wiggins rebounds? There's something to think about too. Sign up with promo code Joe102. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now's the perfect time. The only thing sweeter than watching the finals, cashing in on all the action. Again, promo code Joe102. Turn $5 into $200 in free bets. Make every game feel like Game 7 with FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now available. Free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, June 15th, we're running a one-day only special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, clinically proven to open up and repair blood vessels. 60 clinical studies now say this technology can get rid of your erectile dysfunction without pills. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. And today only, we're offering 4 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, June 15th. Worth almost $1,000, but call today and it's totally free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and restore those intimate moments. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Post Malone, the 12 Carat Tour. The long-awaited event comes to Nashville with special guest Roddy Ricch. Bridgestone Arena, October 16th. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Get tickets at livenation.com. New album 12 Carat Toothache available everywhere.
Sunday, June 19th, it's the biggest night in Impact Wrestling as we celebrate 20 years of history at Slammiversary.
This is Impact
Wrestling.
The Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. The Briscoes, Moose, Deonna Purrazzo, and the Impact World Champion, Josh Alexander. Slammiversary, live from Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets are on sale now. Go to ImpactWrestling.com for tickets and use promo code SLAM20 to get a free gift at the merchandise stand.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Hey Nashville, this is David Price. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN.
Little Def Leppard bringing us back here at the Fordyce Center in Antioch. Good stuff. Darren McFarland, Derek Mason. Eddie George, you just heard for a good portion of this hour. Great stuff from him. Willie Donick in Iowa in the cornfields. Darius, our on-site engineer. And Max Hers back at the Hillside Medical Game Studio. Speaking of Max, let's call Max. 615-737-1025. Caller 7. 615-737-1025. That's our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Lucky caller 7 will win a 4-pack of tickets to Monster Jam at Nissan Stadium, where Eddie and Derek played for most of their careers.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Well,
really,
Eddie.
Eddie for sure.
Yeah. Because he only spent one season
in Dallas.
Yeah.
So good luck. Let's go caller 7 for those Monster Jam tickets. Great event at Nissan Stadium. It's good to see Eddie.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's going to be interesting how he continues to try to build this program at TSU, Tennessee State, because I think this time is better than any other time for HBCUs. And he said it. Listen, if Deion chooses to leave Jackson State and take a head coaching job somewhere else, the focus has to remain on the HBCUs. It has to be bigger than just the coaches, essentially what he was saying. So, now with the transfer portal, the NILs, these kids are like, listen, I think these kids are starting to understand this. Everybody can't go to Alabama. Everybody can't go to Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Auburn, SC, USC, Texas. Every kid can't go, but there are a lot of other options for you if your road is to make it to the NFL or if your road is to get a degree and then do productive things in life. And, TSU, Jackson State, Grambling, these other HBCUs are benefiting from, because these kids are smarter now. They're like, listen, I don't have to go to a big college in order to reach my end goal. Yeah, it may help a little, but if I'm a good player, they're going to find me, especially with these former players, great players, now head coaches at these HBCUs. So it's good. This is a good day and age for HBCUs.
JD on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. How great of a person is Eddie George? I mean, seriously, this guy is literally one of the classiest and great men I've ever listened to speak. Well, it's no front. I mean, what you hear is what you get.
Yeah.
That's Eddie. He's always been like that.
He was that way when he played.
He's always been very consistent. He hasn't changed over the years. As he just said, he's approaching 50, and he's the same guy that was crushing 1,500-yard seasons as the Titans running back.
Exactly.
He was great to deal with as a player, and nothing's changed. I think it's just cool to listen to his journey. And kind of, Willie, to your question about the coaching part of it, it was a great story of just – and this is just year 2 and just how much has changed and how he's grown as a head coach. Because I wasn't sure I would ever envision Eddie as a head coach.
Yeah.
As not that he could.
A businessman,
yes. But I didn't know if he was. Could he do it? Yes. I wasn't sure if that was kind of his deal. Mm-hmm. It's like Peyton Manning. I mean, he could be a coach, but I never envisioned him as being a coach.
Exactly.
But
I really enjoyed hearing him talk about his experiences with kids. I think he's loving that part of it. I think all of us were just wondering, would he be able to embrace all of the challenges that go with being a college head coach, especially the unique challenges at Tennessee State, right, where you're always trying to figure out how do I upgrade the facilities? How do I sustain? He was talking about sustained success, build a foundation. How do I make it better than it has been? But it sounds like he's embraced that part of it too. But it is very challenging for sure. But the reward, of course, is, down the road, if he stays with this, he's going to have a group of guys that he has a hand in. He's probably going to get a few NFL guys, right? He'll probably end up getting a few guys to the NFL. But I think the real reward is that, he's going to develop and shape lives of guys, right? He'll be following his players, and when they get married, he'll get invited to the weddings. That's sort of the reward long term that a coach gets, right? You help shape guys.
Yep. No name texter. Eddie needs to travel down to Lewis County. They have a dog wide receiver he needs. By the way, that was a great story, wasn't it? That was awesome. How do you find out? How do you get that kid that has, he has dog? That was an awesome story.
Line him up.
Okay. This guy's going to be laying this way with the ball. This guy's going to lay the other way. You blow the whistle. We'll see who's got dog in him. All right, we'll come back, put a bow on this spectacular show here today from Fordyce Center in Antioch. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at Cool Springs MD. Had somebody reach out that heard me talking about them yesterday and say, how do I get in touch with them? I said, here's how you get in touch with them. And they said, I need to go over there. And I said, go ahead. They'll take good care of you. And I know a lot of you have reached out to that experienced staff at Cool Springs MD. Dr. Jeffrey Lodge, the board-certified physician, his wife Daphne, who runs the place, the registered nurse. It's a great place, and they take care of a lot of needs. Maybe you would like to shed some unwanted pounds. Weight loss management's important to them. They've got programs and products and people that can get you on track and headed in the right direction. Rejuvenation, your appearance is important. Their staff can talk to you about PRP, hair removal, Botox, and finally hormone therapy. Have you felt off lately? Have you had your levels checked? Do you know they tend to dip as you get older? Do you know that affects your drive, maybe your energy, maybe your mood, maybe just you feeling off and you're like, what the heck is going on? Well, they can talk to you about BHRT, testosterone, estrogen. These are just some of the things they house under one roof there in Cool Springs at 1642 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can always pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or a consultation by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Heat index values in the triple digits, and they're going to stay here for the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today. Time is running out on the hottest finance offer of the year at Genesis Diamonds. Now through June 18th, you can get 5 years, zero-interest financing on practically anything and everything. A $10,000 handcrafted Tacori ring comes to just $167 a month. Surprise them with something memorable. Put nothing down and pay absolutely nothing in interest for 5 whole years. Wedding bands for just $40 a month. Stud earrings just $30 a month. Don't miss this amazing offer. But hurry, it ends June 18th at 5 p.m. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. On approved credit.
It's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts for dads and grads, featuring TaylorMade Stealth Carbon Woods and the new Stealth Irons. The Carbon Woods feature carbon twist face technology, and the new Stealth Irons feature max forgiveness and explosive ball speed. And from Bushnell, the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders inform you precisely how far you are from the pin. Whether you're a dad or grad, get a free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
Our fleet vehicle program is a great benefit to all the fleet companies in Nashville. We are able to get their vehicle back on the road a lot quicker than the downtime of most dealers and most general repair shops, simply because we have the transmissions available. We're able to put priority on their vehicles to get them back on the road quickly.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Summer heat is here. How is your air conditioner holding up? Costs are rising everywhere. Grocery bills, gas bills, utility bills, you name it, up, up, up. Is your AC old, inefficient, and costing more than it should? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months. No interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
Introducing the first Nashville location of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Midtown. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ with fun, effective, and empowering group boxing circuit workouts. Become a founding member today. Stop by the brand new studio in Midtown at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why they want you to know that the new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota today for all your equipment needs. 2 locations to serve you, Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota. Visit us online at columbiakubota.com or franklinkubota.com.
I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to the DDC.
Presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
On ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Congratulations, Cody and McEwen. Cody was listening. That's number 1. Thank you, Cody, for that. And 2, he got on the phone and he started dialing the digits, and he was lucky caller 7. So Cody is going to have a lot of fun with 3 other folks at Monster Jam Nissan Stadium here in 10 days. Good stuff.
Jam.
All right. Let's weigh in on this on the way out. We talked a lot about what Jeffrey Simmons said. And, Willie, I was telling D-Mace during the break, it's going to be really interesting. I don't think the Titans have minicamp tomorrow. I think today was it for this week. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong on that, but I think today was it for the media purposes. You had Vrabel tries to keep the message one way and do things one way. Yet he's letting people talk, and you get Rob Moore talking, and he's like, yeah, you know, it stinks people are saying stuff about Traylon. He's dealing with asthma. What? Then Jeffrey Simmons comes on here today and says all that, and you know the next time Vrabel is made available, what do you think is going to happen? He's going to get peppered with this stuff.
Of course.
So people are coming out with stuff that he's trying to keep everything under wraps, and now he's having to circle back around and answer all these questions because things are getting out when other people are talking. Of course, it's not coming from him, but then it eventually comes back to the head coach with people peppering those questions.
No, I mean, it's going – he's probably pulling out his hair right
Do you agree?
now.
Do you agree with that?
No, I agree with you because this organization, since Vrabel has been the head coach, there's two things that are definitely true. Is that this organization has gotten much better. It's day and night.
Some would say it had nowhere to go but up.
Exactly,
but yes,
yeah. But
completely agree.
Exactly. He and Robinson have taken this organization and put it back where it should have been a long time ago. That's true. And then another thing is they keep everything so hush-hush. That was their thing. We're not discussing injuries. We're not discussing this. We're going to give you vague answers over here. We'll dance around a few things over there, but we're not going to give you what you want. We're not going to let you know truly what's going on in this organization. Well, one of the two has remained, and it hasn't been the information. Okay, the information is starting to get out. People are starting to talk, and it's not sort of in a bad way, but they're just telling, like, listen, hey, this is what's going on. My guy has asthma. 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have heard that. A coach wouldn't have said that about his player. Then you have another player coming out saying, hey, listen, Vrabel has me on the program. I don't have to, be at mandatory. Well, I'm there, but I ain't got to participate. Well, a year ago or 2 years ago, you wouldn't have heard that from a player. But now you're hearing it. And I'm pretty sure Vrabel is just like, seriously, come on. It's like Vrabel has this code. And I get it. I get the code. And he doesn't want anyone to break it. Like, listen, what we do in-house in regards to the players, the injuries, conditioning, whatever contracts, we keep in-house.
When he listens to this Jeffrey Simmons interaction with the media today, 13-minute session, what do you think is going to be? What do you
I think he's going to say, "Oh boy, well, I've got to be ready."
Okay, that's what I agree. That's exactly why I'm bringing it up. I agree.
Here's what I think. There's going to be some headaches, whether it's this or Traylon Burks or Ryan Tannehill. I think it just sort of goes with the territory. I think Mike Vrabel knows that regardless, there's going to be some uncomfortable press conferences. He's going to have to do his thing up on the podium, which he's got his methods of doing. This is what's comforting to me, though, about the Simmons situation. I think, and honestly, I may have said this about A.J. Brown, and you